Victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Another game. Enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
and when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going!
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Caitlin.
But here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. A job well done. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping
one.
this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot.
Yes, but here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. Enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot.
Yes, but here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Ryland Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long Enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed when they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from
But here we go. It's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they like line. Now doesn't have the speed. They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean. Keep going, ET. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Minus 1,000 flash will win apres curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Caitlin.
But here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot.
Yep.
He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
Line good.
No,
Oh,
they
line's
like
good.
line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long Eat locally, enjoy casually.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, ET! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going!
Minus 1,000 flash will win appareil curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys. They're
Look at this, this is
really
a good one.
sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Kane.
But here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Rylan Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No,
Oh,
they
line's
like
good.
line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Rylan Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place? Come as you are. And
Last drop. Yep. 8-10. From the tie to Is it Toronto?
Live curling action once again from the Silent Ice Center in Nisku, Alberta, in the shadow of Edmonton. The Co-op Canadian Open second leg of the Grand Slam of Curling Tour. 16 top-ranked men's and women's teams from around the world vying to add a Grand Slam title to their resume. Speaking of resumes, here in the booth, if we actually want to call the game, I can't run through all the accomplishments of my broadcast team today. We've already done it once for the man sitting next to me, the 7-time world champion, the Olympic gold medalist, and a whole bunch of other stuff we're just not going to run through right now. Nicholas Sedin, and to his left, the professional we're bringing in to class up the booth, We're glad they let us borrow her for a game. The 17 world champion and Canadian mixed doubles champ. 18 Olympian. And she's won a million other things as well. Joanne Courtney, so happy to have both of you guys in here today for this feature matchup.
Yeah, what a thrill. I'm so happy to join the team. I caught a lot about the stream when the slam was in Charlottetown the other week, and it's been so nice to be able to watch throughout the week of the slams, starting with that first draw on Tuesday.
Nick, your second time here with us as well. Got a lot of good feedback. I mean, you might have to join us consistently for the season now. I mean, we got to give the people what they want.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear that. I hope we can deliver once more.
Well, the Czar came in, Mr. Salsky, and said he was thrilled that you were back in, so I think that's the vote of confidence you need right there.
Thumbs up from the boss.
There you go. And our feature matchup today will be Bruce Mouat taking on Matt Dunstone. Mouat with a 3-0 record. Here you see the lineup. Bruce Mouat at skip, Grant Hardy third, Bobby Lammy at second, Hammy McMillan at lead. Team Dunstone on the other side of things with a 2-1 record, looking to get their third win and very likely cash their ticket to the playoff round. And their team, Matt Dunstone at skip, BJ Neufeld third, Colton Lott at second, Ryan Harnden at lead. Joe, we'll start with you. This Mouat team, obviously we don't need to tell the world how good they are. The #1 ranked team in the world, #1 year to date as well. Really hot start to the season. 3 wins already and a runner-up. Obviously fell on their faces in the Shorty Jenkins. But we expect nothing but consistency from this team. And we talked pregame about some of the reasons why we see that as well.
Yeah, one of the only teams probably in the world that really try to replicate throwing the rock exactly the same as each other.
Yeah, Nick, it's a team you're very familiar with, obviously. Played them many times in the Europeans, the World Championships, the Olympic final as well, in one of the great games that we've seen over the last decade. Obviously, with the familiarity, a great guy to have in the booth for this game, but talk about what it's like playing against Bruce and what to expect.
Yeah, they are a super solid team, and especially when the back end is on fire, they will not miss much at all. So the team that are up against them, they have to play really good curling, and Matt is going to have to make everything, I think, in this game for them to have a chance.
And for Team Dunstone, Joe, they're having a solid season as well. Tough to compare resumes for this season or any in the last few with Mouat, but coming off of a win into this event, they're playing with confidence and they feel like they can play with anybody.
Yeah, their team has great chemistry. They've had a little bit of an up and down story, I think, since they've come to fruition, but they have all the shots and there's a matter of putting it all together.
And Nick coming in with a 2-1 record for them too, and needing this game. Sometimes the team that has a little more pressure on them tightens up a little bit. For Mouat, very likely already in the playoff round. Is that something that you expect Dunstone to be dealing with? Maybe a little tight, knowing they might need this win to get in.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what kind of strategy they want to head into this game with. We watched against Jacobs earlier, was a little more passive maybe, if in lack of better words, but I think in this game they're going to have to take some chances, some risk, and score some ends with hammer, I think, especially. I expect them to go for 2s and 3s.
Yeah, I think we'll see them mix it up a little bit more than what we saw. You and I had that Team Jacobs, Team Dunstone game, and we were both remarking on how much Jacobs controlled the action by, playing 4 blanks in that game. But really, Dunstone allowed them to do that with how they played too, with trading hits. So I think we're going to see a lot more rocks in play, maybe some higher scoring ends, and obviously for the broadcast booth, we prefer that too. But looking at the season so far for Team Dunstone, #8 ranked in the world, #4 year to date. They did get that win at the Fall Classic. Semifinalist at the Tour Challenge, semifinalist in Penticton, and the quarters in the Shorty Jenkins. And Nick, we talked about Dunstone's ability to put up big ends as well. The Sieve qualifier game in that Tour Challenge scored 3 against Schuster with down 2 playing the final end. And then did it again against McEwen in the quarterfinals, down 2 and scored 3 in the 8th. So obviously a team that can put up points.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to see them use that skill more, because when they really go for big scores, they often score big. So no reason really to not go for it earlier in the game, not just when you absolutely have to, but if they can put a 2 or 3 in the on board early in this game, that's kind of how they can put pressure on Mouat. Otherwise, I think Mouat is the favorite to kind of control things in the game, but Dunstone starting with hammer, so I think that can be a decisive factor as well.
Look around at the other games for this key draw. Final game in the round robin. Kleider and McEwen on sheet A. Over on sheet C, Schuster taking on Hosley. John Schuster back in action today after falling ill yesterday. He is on the ice with his squad. And over on sheet D, Yannick Schwaller taking on Brad Jacobs. We're just about ready to get things going. Hammy McMillan Jr. in the hack to get things going for Mouat. Dunstone will have hammer in the first end. Joe, we've made enough jokes about Hammy's look. He's made enough jokes about it himself as well. I think John Cullen and I thought we had something at least similar to that in our 7th and 8th grade years. But Hammy was very proud of that, approached us afterwards and said, bet you weren't expecting to see that, were you?
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he actually had it touched up and redone, so he's pretty happy with how it looks. And you know what? Look good, feel good, play good.
He makes that tight center to start things off, right on the center line, the no-tick zone. For those relatively new to that rule, once again, we try to keep you updated. The first 5 shots of the end cannot remove that stone from the center line if it is touching, as opposed to the regular free guard zone rule where anything not touching the center line cannot be removed from play.
Yeah, so right off the hop here, Nick, we see Dunstone going with a more conservative call, throwing that winger. Nothing wrong with it, certainly, but just trying to keep things a little bit more open to start.
Yeah, it's definitely not one you see very often, but they seem to like the more cautious approach in the odd ends especially, but also early in the game. So we might see some less risks taken early, and then if they can grab that hammer for a few ends, I think Mouat might have to really go for it. So that could be interesting too.
8-7.
And Nick, we were expecting maybe a little bit more aggressiveness in this game from Dunstone, but nothing different so far. Right to the outside of the rings, as you said.
Hard. Yeah. Wait's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably just really want to get this blank and then go for 2 in the second. Many ways to do that, obviously, but just want to get into it. And like you said, this is a very important game. It's a must-win against a super strong team. So maybe just want to wait for good opportunities and not kind of take a risk too early, being forced and taking that control out of it. So they want to stay in control is the main thing here.
Yeah, and you might see it looking pretty simple for these teams, but they learn from every single shot to see how these hits are running, get a good idea of what the sheet is doing so that they can use that later on in the game.
Clean. Straight.
Bobby Lammy's first here for Team Mouat. Soft hit and roll, gets a piece behind the center guard. Bobby, the 22 world mixed doubles champion, and obviously Scottish champion as well. And the interesting thing with this team, too, is looking at their resumes. They all have something in addition to what they've done together. With Hammy Jr. won the World Juniors in 2013. For Grant Hardy, 17 world mixed doubles champion. And for Junior also has one more Scottish men's championship than the rest of his squad. So they all have bragging rights one way or another against each other. Nick, I know we talked in the last game about you and Oscar being all tied up at 38 world curling medals in your careers, and seeing who's going to come out on top on that.
Well, it's probably not going to be me. I'm too old for that.
It's a pretty full trophy case, though, all the same.
Yeah, if you tried to do that Michael Phelps picture that they did for the Sports Illustrated cover, he could only get all 20-some of his medals on for about 2 seconds at a time, and then he just collapsed. So they had to hold the medals until when they took the picture. So for you and Oscar, I would like to see you actually attempt that with basically double the amount that Phelps had.
Yeah, no, I'd get a hernia in 2 seconds. I wouldn't even try that.
Colton Mouat, the Canadian mixed doubles champion, played in Östersund, Sweden last year. To call some of their games there as well. See, Colton has every shot in the game, Joe. Throws the high, hard one extremely well, but obviously to succeed in mixed doubles, as you're well aware of, you have to have the soft game too.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of how, I mean, he ended up on my radar. The games that he got into with his wife, Kadriana, it's always so much fun watching them because she has such great draw weight, and he just makes everything, he sweeps everything, and I think that had a big part in him getting on this team now in men's.
Both teams trading hits on these stones. The back of the 8-foot. See at what point Dunstone tries to get that roll underneath center, or Mouat, I suppose I should say, without hammer.
Hard, Hammy. Hard.
Can't quite get it to roll underneath there. Grant Hardy.
10-5.
As we mentioned, the 2017 World Mixed Doubles, or World Mixed Champion, not Mixed Doubles. A discipline that we don't see these players playing all that often with their busy schedules, Nick.
Yeah, I know the schedules these days are not just busy in amount of events, but each event is getting longer and kind of more professional. We used to have fewer slams. Many years ago, there were only 4 of them, and now we have like at least 5 of them, but then the championships are getting more and more, and all the qualification rounds are getting to be long, tough events also. So for the top teams now, you almost have to play 13, 14 really long, tough events, and it's really hard to peak more than a couple of times in a season, really. So trying to do really well in all of these events, it's really tough.
And Joe, we talked about how heavy some of these teams' schedules have gotten early in the season, and Nicholas and I discussed a little more load management, especially early in the season, but for Team Gim and Team Ha, respectively, played 8 events and 9 events so far this season. So trying to peak at the right time, we know, is very important, but you think that might be a little bit of overkill for how many events you're playing by the beginning of November?
I mean, you think so, but at the same time, you look at Team Ha, I mean, they're at the Slam now, right? And I was sparing and played against them in a final last weekend, and they're a fantastic team. So you see these teams are building and developing at a much faster rate because of all that volume.
Rock now above the tee line.
Yeah, Mouat and company had a chance to get under there, just didn't quite find enough curl.
BJ Neufeld second here in this first end.
Straight, keep going.
Pretty much every rock is going in that same path now, and all of them are being swept, so probably can expect it to run very straight, and the speed is not going to come down much, so they're not really accurate with the throw. They're probably not going to make the roll. It's going to be tough to get some extra curl when the path is that teamed up by the sweeping.
Makes kind of like a trough, if anything.
Right. Joe, we can't bury the lead either. You are super subbing this week. That team really knows how to find substitutes. My goodness. Super Don McEwen at the last slam, and now yourself. And you said you really hadn't thrown a lot of rocks, if any, coming into this point in the season. So what's it been like playing with Team Anderson this week?
Oh, so much fun. Yeah, I didn't throw a single rock last season, and that was pretty sad.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of a chance to get ready for these few events with them, and it was so much fun. And it's kind of a nice position to be in as a retiree. You're playing free, and you're just hoping to play half decently. And oh, nice roll there, just a little too far. But yeah, the team has to be nice to you if you're their spare, and ultimately you just do everything you can to get the W's, and so it's been a great time.
11-5. Yeah, I mean,
finally they threw a little bit less weight there, Nick, and they just overcurled a titch.
Yeah, and that one is so tough to really go for, but Bruce never backing away from a shot, and he had seen a lot of rocks under curl, just a tiny bit, so he took some weight off and threw it tight, tried to hold it with the sweeping, just rolling out in the open, but very nice attempt, and that kind of shows that he will go for every shot. He's not one to back off or play safe.
11-5. Okay.
Here, 11-5 here, the call from Dunstone, having to play the intern side this time. So one thing they did accomplish, making them switch turns.
Trying to roll under, but.
And Joe, these are the tracks that we pay close attention to. Middle of 8 foot to middle of 4 foot, really, in the early ends of these slam games where you see the miss narrow or light the vast majority of the time because it's a track that you really don't play as much in warm-ups.
Yeah, so I expect that he probably won't baby this release, and you might see some aggressive sweeping in this line.
Clean. Whoa.
Get. Whoa.
Whoa!
Close.
Clean up!
Get. Hard.
Taking a turn now.
Hard. Hard.
What?
Hard
Yeah!
into it.
Rolls to about half buried. Very good shot.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe give you a
As you
hair
said,
more.
Joe aggressively swept there.
That, to be honest, but I know that's obviously
Threw
rare.
it to the sweeping.
They played that well enough so that in that straighter spot that is super keen now, Bruce really can't afford trying to go for a roll under. So Matt just bought himself a free blank, most likely. First things first, Bruce got to hit this out.
Bruce Mouat's final stone here of the first end of action in our feature matchup. Looks like maybe a hack weight.
Clean. Curl.
That positive
Clean.
release
Don't
that we're
curl.
used to seeing from all 4 players.
Carve. Carve. Okay.
Trying to get it to turn over. Really well thrown, well swept, perfectly done.
Managed to get almost to nose there, so not fully accessible for the blank, but Matt can definitely see enough to get this.
Yeah.
It's running so straight with those tap weights, you'd expect this peel to be deadly straight, especially with the outturn.
Both teams played this end wide open, expecting this would be the finish. Final stone for Dunstone, playing for his blank. Outturn peel attempt.
Clean, just clean.
Clean.
As Joe said, running pure, dead straight right on that path. No problem for Dunstone. They do get their blank after one end of play, 0-0 onto the second.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casually.
I think we probably over-iced a few too.
Blank end in the first. 4-team Dunstone, a wide open end. Never more than 2 rocks in play the entire end. Of course, we are 0-0 in our feature matchup here. The Co-op Canadian Open, Grand Slam of Curling. For those joining a little late, curling royalty in the booth once again today. Nicholas Sedin and Joanne Courtney joining me here. Tyler George.
We're a little narrow.
It's as though Team Mouat is going to center guard once again to start the end off. So Joe, will see if
It's all grand.
Team Dunstone continues to try to play this wide open, throws to the wing, or if they mix it up a little more.
Yeah, I'd expect to see either a corner guard go up or a come around the center line here. Assuming in even ends that Matt will want to score.
Nick, we said that a lot of times in the last Dunstone game, too, and we were wrong. The vast majority of the time, we expected to see him turn gears and get more aggressive, but just really didn't happen for almost the entire game.
Yeah, there was a little strange, actually. It kind of felt like neither team really wanted to go for multiple score. It was a very kind of back and forth kind of tactical battle. Happy to see, though, that they put up a corner here, not just coming around, kind of keeping it somewhat defensive, but putting up a corner now. It's kind of really going for 2 points here, but they're going to secure the middle first. Would hate to give Mouat a chance to steal, so main objective is to not end up in a tricky situation where Mouat may steal. If they don't get 2 points, that's fine, but can't afford a steal early to this team.
Line's okay.
And for both of you two, Nick, as you're
Line's pretty good.
playing in this event as well, obviously, you get to that 3-0 position that Mouat's in, knowing that you're probably in the playoffs. I think we can drop the probably, pretty sure they're in. But I never want to say it for certain and be wrong here in the booth, but does anything change with your approach? You know you like to keep things as consistent as possible, but do you ever think about working on anything specific or trying some different things in that fourth game when you know you already have that playoff spot locked up?
Definitely not would be my answer.
That's what I expected.
In longer events, then for sure, I would want to try some things out and kind of just collect more information. But in this event, it's all about getting hammer in the playoffs. So you really want to be 4-0, want to kind of secure that hammer as long as you can, because if you get into the playoffs without hammer, you're most likely not going to win. I think it's happened like 1 in 8 or something in the previous slam that we played, that a team has won kind of from that position. So you want to be 4-0 and you want that hammer in the playoffs, otherwise your chances of winning are very slim.
Perfect start to this end here from both leads as those come around draws buried under both guards, and Bobby Lammy now trying to throw another around the center guard on the outturn side, try to get to top 8, maybe bite top 4.
Top 8, top 12. Go, Hammy.
He picked this up right out of Bobby Lammy's hand.
Try and split the center.
Just trying to get it to curl here now.
And a good finish there from the sweepers and a good spot. And Joe, same question to you, but more with a regular tour event or longer event like Nick said. Is that something that's in an event where you have more games, or a game where it maybe doesn't have as much meaning for you? There's some things that you look at adjusting or trying?
Yeah, I think there's always the momentum piece. You don't want to go out and have a poor game at any point in the week, so you're always trying to get that W. But sometimes if there's an opportunity to throw a certain shot or see a spot in the ice, you might take it when there's a 6-1, half a dozen opportunity. So back when I played with Team Holman, sometimes they'd say, oh, is there anything anyone wants to see? And then if we had the opportunity, we would try to get there. But for sure, securing that W, keeping that momentum is the most important thing.
That hit and roll to the outside, rolls out for Colton Lott.
Just caught a little bit there. That spot going the other direction curled nicely, so maybe a little bit too much weight or too much ice.
The players had said early in the week that the ice was kind of banked towards the middle of the arena. So the sheet B would be curling more on this outturn side than on the in-turn coming back, and then sheet C would be the opposite. But Nick, have you seen that maybe that's evened out as the week has gone and it was just an early week thing?
Yeah, I think it's pretty even now, and also I think in this second end, like when you got those draw for hammer, you got certain paths that are just played more than others. So in the first end, you can get some spots that are fresher, but on this outturn coming home where they're playing now, that this should be fully up to speed after those draw for the button before the game starts.
Run back attempt just sticks in.
That's a situation where you wish you would have missed by more.
Yeah.
Line's good.
Weight's good.
Dead knows this is a great opportunity here for Colton
Line's
Mott.
great.
To it.
Line's great.
This is green light for Team Dunstone now to go on the attack after that run back is stuck by Team Mouat.
You gotta go. You're never off for line. You're never off for line.
Really like to get this at least to the stone, if not move it.
Very nice goal.
Chuckle.
4-6.
Very well done.
Chop. Back button.
Gotta try to get to nose here, and kind of the key is not to overthrow it. You can't afford rolling off any. If they get to nose, they want to unlock that freeze and sit on top of it themselves instead.
Lead.
And what's the rationale there, Nick, for unlocking that stone for those watching?
Yeah, it's just that you can remove this red later, otherwise you would need one more shot to do so. So that's why they don't care where that back yellow goes. Would like to keep it in play and kind of outcount the one behind the corner, but it's not a main priority. The priority is to get the shooter on top of the red, which they did nicely.
Very good angles now.
Yeah, it's so easy to overthrow those. As a thrower, you're just trying to think kind of T-line or heavy draw, let the sweepers do the rest of the work. That's exactly what they did.
BJ Neufeld playing the intern come-around draw, trying to get to the inside of this yellow stone, improve the angles. Wouldn't mind a little tap here, Joe, but just throwing it to clean draw.
Curl. Yeah, I don't think he'd mind releasing it a little bit.
Real hard, you gotta go! Oh, whoa!
This is
I don't
wide
know.
and heavy.
Whoa.
Flicks the corner guard. Looks like it's still gonna be on the paint in the back.
Okay, Beach.
That was just really overthrown, in my opinion. You kind of what you mentioned there, you kind of go for T-line, and if you can get it a little bit on the inside, you would love to unlock it just a little bit, but that was hack weight.
Get nose!
Just too much weight.
Got that double, no? It's close,
Yeah, redirected off the guard and still almost got all the way to the back line. BJ
Half
has not
stone,
moved
thick half,
after
2/3.
result of that shot from where he was
Come
standing.
here. Come and have a
The
look.
rock's
I
not
can
gonna
also
move still,
chase
so.
and spin it through the hole. Okay, come and have a look.
Brad Hardy's going to take a look at this one as Bruce calls him down to take a look at the angles.
You got half stone. You got half stone.
I've got half yet.
It looks like a
Oh, I don't have this.
very makeable
It's a hair thicker.
I need
double if
2/3,
we can
really
see
thick
enough.
Yeah.
Just the position of the rocks in the rings. It's a
Yeah,
very
I
makeable
like it.
double,
Back
but the
weight in
question
those
is
or
if he can
bump it
see
through the hole.
enough behind that center guard.
Give me 10-5, 11-5.
And if not, probably the same
Who
shot,
lies
but
at
just
those?
softer weight.
Tough to say.
I'm worried playing this way, I maybe leave a triple.
Okay,
To lie 3.
let's go this way then.
Think so, eh?
Yeah, first thing Grant said when he got down there was, I don't have it. So he doesn't believe that double is there. But they can
Yellow's
sit three
lower
just
the red
playing
under
the
the corner.
clean hack weight
Yellow
shot
okay,
here.
it's lower of the red.
So where are you trying to roll this to here, Joe?
I don't know what he was looking at. Yeah, 12 through the
I
hole.
think just over into the edge of the 8. I mean, you don't want to leave a double and then all of a sudden you got a lonely yellow in there. So you can roll it to kind of bite the side of the forefoot. That's pretty good.
This is the much tougher shot to make. You can't see much at all.
Curl.
About an inch of that out turn. We've seen one under curl
Clean.
earlier here.
Carve. Clean. Carve.
They manage these shots so well, too.
Hard. Gotta go. Roll that.
Hard, Hammy,
Edge
hard,
of 4.
Hammy.
Edge of 4.
Hard.
That's about exactly what they were looking for.
Okay, sorry.
They don't look too pleased, though. They wanted that rock to get out.
You saw they called the carve early, and I found the early carve, sometimes it can take some of the weight off that rock. It gets it curling a little bit earlier than it was going to.
I don't
Certainly
like that.
saw that there.
No. Can I get the side one and the back one with the slash? You can certainly make this. Yeah.
I believe both the reds in the back are better than the yellow, and that's kind of why Mouat
2/3.
weren't overly thrilled, even though they made a really great shot, and the three yellows are sitting in a nice position. But like Joe said there, if they can make a double at some point, all those reds come into play.
Neufeld trying to open this up and clear at least one of the yellows in the house. They're slashing it to the side one. Just to the back. One goes out, 2 stay. So Mouat still sitting 2. Kind of a shrug there from BJ and from Matt. Not a bad result, but Mouat still in control now.
Might have also ticked that back red to where the yellow might be better now.
Ever play in the run?
To be a little less risk for Mouat.
a little worried about Dunstone being able to play the run and lose both yellows. They are considering a guard.
Oh, it's split. Are you going this way? Yep. Yep. Throw here. He makes that, and you're dicey. Yep.
Just a little split on this top yellow, it looks like.
Back line for the weight they're looking for.
Try to roll the shooter buried behind that center line guard. It's another one where the key is to not overthrow it. Just think back 12-ish out of the hand, let the sweepers manage it from there.
It does look like a lot of broom based on how we saw BJ's track earlier in the end that ticked that corner guard. So it's going to need to turn a little bit more than what we've seen with basically the same weight as what BJ threw. So Mouat playing this split, chipping this yellow over, trying to roll under center guard.
Whoa. Curl. Clean. Whoa. Hammy. Hard.
Just over the line, whoa. Very good.
Ball's open. Maybe a little, not quite edge to edge for what they can see.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Just curled a little bit more than they expected at the end. They were calling the carve.
A little more than what we expected, I think, too.
He's pushing any sort of forefoot. We might have some.
And by we, you mean you?
Me, yeah. The royal we. I had to use that yesterday morning when I called the game by myself. I said we a few times before I realized there's nobody in the booth.
Just make the double, too.
I think that's my nightmare.
Yeah, it's not particularly entertaining when you're joking and nobody's laughing. You don't know if they're laughing at home.
That would not be an issue for me. I always laugh at my own jokes.
Like 12-5?
Yeah, I think so. Trying to hit like 2/3.
Yeah.
How's that look?
Okay. Yeah, looks right.
Just kind of bumper weight, hit and flop to the side of the left-hand yellow. Try to stay shot.
It's very close for staying shot rock on this. And being second isn't terrible, but yeah, if they're shot and on that yellow stone, be a really good result.
Saw in the Schwaller-Jacobs game a fantastic shot by Canada there. Just a little double run double. Nothing to it.
Hit the broom, throw the weight. No big deal. Matt Dunstone's first here in the second end. They have hammer.
Clean.
Looks like around board weights, maybe a little less.
Clean up. Hard.
He's trying to hit and roll on top of the number 2 counter.
Really hard. Gotta go.
Really cutting now.
Hard on that one.
That took a big turn. They did sweep it early. Maybe Matt pinched it a little bit, but definitely curled hard. Wrecks the guard, and now for Mouat, all placement on trying to make Dunstones as difficult as possible. What do you like here, Joe?
I think just the straight guard is pretty good.
Yep.
Just in front of the yellow that's shot, maybe a little bit closer to the
Straight guard,
center line. Well, that's a tough score.
I think the key here is to bring it pretty
Yeah, you
close
can
to
be
the rings.
tighter.
Even top 12 is fine. If it's too high, it's going to be fairly makeable with that amount of curl we just saw to get to nose from the outside or maybe even inside. So we want to block everything off here, maybe biting the 12-foot kind of in front of that yellow shot.
Think so.
Big opportunity here for Team Mouat to put pressure on Matt Dunstone with his last. Mouat's final stone throwing tight guard on the outturn side.
Hard, then. Clean. Hard.
As Nicholas said, right to the biting top 12's probably ideal.
Always you, Bob. Lines are fine.
Another curling 101 moment as well, Nick. And so many times you see inexperienced players just saying guard and not talking about a very specific spot where you want to throw it to, not just on the right line. It was a little higher maybe than what we expected, but very good line.
And the speed was well communicated by the sweepers so that the person in the house knew exactly how to manage that. If that rock goes another foot or two, then the shot rock is available.
Right. It looks as though Dunstone is going to take his medicine, just hit the number 2 counter, give Mouat 1. If they got aggressive and tried to score, 3 is obviously in the picture. So discretion, the better part of valor, Joe.
Yeah, I think, as you said, you have to take your medicine here.
Speed should be similar out here, I think, eh?
Are we sure he's not chasing?
I thought
shot
maybe
here?
he was, but and that's a tough shot. I guess you just have to get out of the 4 foot, though.
Yeah, I think, and
it's probably there.
It's
Throw past
definitely
the
there.
guard.
And if you only play that kind of weight that is just through the rings, you can't really roll that far, even if you don't make the perfect contact. You're not going to give up 3 or anything like that. It's more about not giving up a big end here, but it looks like they're just no sitting to give up one.
You could make either shot with that broom, so it's tough to tell. But it is a single. With Dunstone hitting the number 2, we believe. They're taking another look, but now kicking the rocks out of play. Steal of 1 for Bruce Mouat. He leads 1-0 over Matt Dunstone after 2 ends of play.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So the safe play by Dunstone with his final stone in the second end, just hitting number 2 count on his last. Mouat gets the steal, leads 1-0 in our feature matchup. Nicholas, you said during the break, you thought really probably worth having a go, that you don't want to give up a steal to Bruce in this situation with how good they're playing, and take your chances going for your 1.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised actually, but obviously from up here it's kind of hard to see exactly the distance, how much you need to curl, how makeable that shot feels. But I feel if you only look at the scoreboard, the difference between being up 1 after 2 or down 1 after 2 to this team, it's a big difference. And I would think if you think you can score your 1 there, I think it would be worth a go, and maybe play it in a way where kind of even if you miss it a little on the light side, your shooter kind of stays second shot, so you only give up 1 anyways. But obviously felt it was just not worth the risk. So now looking to score 2 in the third and putting up a corner in the third, which we haven't really seen from this team. But now down 1 to this Mouat foursome, they're going to have to take some more risk.
And Joe, you mentioned you think the psychology of taking the guard on his first may have come into play on that decision.
Yeah, I think if he hadn't missed his first by that margin, he might have been more willing to take that risk. Obviously, not close to where he wanted to be with that first, so I think that might have come into play.
Nick, going back to the previous game, we saw Team Dunstone play too. After the first 2 ends were blanked by Team Jacobs, and they took 2 in the third. Team Dunstone came back with a 2 in the next end to tie the game. So only a single for Mouat this time, but when Dunstone did change gears and play more aggressively, they immediately got their 2. So maybe that's why it's a little surprising that they're taking their time in making these types of plays. They did throw the corner in the second end and go underneath it, but they have had success and pretty consistently on tour with scoring 2s and 3s, so maybe we need to see them do a little more of that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a really good team at scoring when they really want to. But maybe also part of that is taking their time, collecting the information, everyone kind of being comfortable with the speed and the curl out there before going aggressive. So it might be a very specific strategy also, that they kind of wait for better opportunities until everyone is ready, and then they go for the big scores. And then when they do, they are really good at it. So we'll see how they continue now. Not the best of starts here in the third end.
Yeah, difficult to get more aggressive when The lead second stone gets nothing out of it, and it goes right by and right through the house for Ryan Harnden. And Joe, once again, now Team Mouat able to dictate the action and control not just the end, but the center of the sheet, right where they want to keep things.
Yeah, this is the third rock in a row that isn't quite curling as much as they expect it to, though. Grant's trying really hard to get this to go, just a titch heavy. That was a great opportunity. If that's anywhere 3-4 feet lighter and buried, it's a pile of trouble for Team Dunstone. Sometimes you see in certain buildings, if you throw a path, the same path a few times in a row, gets a little bit faster, a little bit straighter, and might be seeing a little bit of that here. Once it sits for a little while, the curl kind of comes back.
So those two stones cornered on each other. Colton Lott playing draw bump to those two. Really like to make a pocket here if they can. And Nick don't need to unlock it much, just need to move it so they're side by side. But this time seeing more sweeping weight thrown on this shot too.
Still trying to carve this though.
Keep going. Good. Great sweep.
That's a really good shot there.
Good sweep, Pete. Don't you want to bounce it? You just want to freeze your nose.
The key to that shot was to get slightly on the inside.
You lock it right in the nose.
So that red goes absolutely nowhere, and now Mouat pretty much have to unlock this. Just the freeze on top, then the red is just going to be a massive problem the rest of the ends. They need to get something moving here.
Bobby Lammy with the in-turn come-around draw. Early sweep here from McMillan and Hardy. Looks like it has to go for weight as well.
Try and bounce this.
Already on the guard and not much happening there.
And maybe just got on a little different track. That really turned over, but sweepers were on it right away.
Yeah, it might have been a little lighty-tighty. Fresh line, too, makes it look even worse. I bet you if he threw a little bit wider, that would have been close to the ballpark. Still probably a little late.
Would love to make that.
Another one I'm writing down to steal, lighty-tighty. That's a good one. Kerry Anderson in the booth yesterday gave me Sell the Farm, which probably heard a few times, but...
we tried to do that this morning. It didn't quite work out. No
meaning,
buyers.
Yes, meaning going all out for whatever it is you need to do. Usually that means scoring or stealing.
And tricky situation here, even though they got a miss from the Mouat. It's not easy kind of call where to put this rock.
Yeah, this looks like it's really got to go as well.
Top 8.
A little more lighty-tighty, Joe.
Keep going. Got to stay high on it.
Okay.
Both teams scrambling a little bit right now. Just a couple of pretty severe misses.
Just didn't quite get out there.
Yeah, just didn't get it running.
Yeah, I felt in the game we played that kind of starts off pretty quickly, but then in the second and third and fourth end, it kind of came down quite a bit to then later in the game kind of speed up again. So it's definitely something you really want to pay attention to and kind of keep track of where it's swept a lot, where they might start to build up some frost, and when the ice maker then turn off the cooling about halfway through the game, then it's going to probably get a little faster again, or sometimes that happens at least. But you need to pay attention to the details here and really keep the draw weight in your pocket.
Looking like they really want to open the front up.
Okay, yeah, me too. I think you almost want to stuff it.
There's the mics back for us. Tell us, boys.
If we get it good, it might spin up and out. Because the left-hand one is just slightly higher.
Interesting situation.
Yeah, just hair high.
If this is made, I mean, it's great for Mouat, but if it's missed, it opens things up for Dunstone.
7-8.
I think a fan just said they missed you out there, Joe, that walked by.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
It's good to be missed.
I do a lot of ignoring everyone in the booth, though.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
Straight, straight.
It's a double run back trying to get this Yellowstone.
Oh, like that.
Yeah, moving on the red all the way out to the side of the 12-foot. Very good result. A little unfortunate that there is still a hole.
Looks
and
like 10-5 to
the
me.
yellow is accessible there for Mouat.
Yeah, even like 9-5.
Like you said, though, Joe, this opens things up for
Looks a bit
Team
tight.
Dunstone, and a really good opportunity to score 2 here. If they can roll this away behind the 2 yellow guards, and that port being very good for Dunstone in the middle, not really a lot of places to hide. They're going to have to stick the run back, which they usually do almost every time.
I just thought it looked like a bit of a tough 2 for Dunstone if Mouat didn't throw there.
Yeah!
Colton Lott trying to hold this and get by the guard. Just clears. Great sweep from Lott and Harnden, the big brooms. Neufeld makes the in-turn hit. That rock is still accessible, but not a big port.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really call that a miss, but at the same time, they leave enough, and now Mouat have seen one. So they will be very close on making this roll.
Grant Hardy trying to follow BJ Neufeld, but would really like to roll this under the yellows if they can. So we're seeing a little bit more weight than BJ had for that purpose, trying to hold the line straight.
Yes! Yep. Hard. Clean. Yep.
Rolls to half buried. Now the port is staggered the wrong way. So a tougher shot yet now with where these stones are located.
11-5.
11-5 the call
Yeah,
on
is the
the
shot
weight.
to go off the top one, you think? What's that? Is the best shot to roll off the top one? It's no double if he noses.
An 11-5, that would be
Just
a little farther than down to the bumper on the other side.
Okay, let's play the hole. Think so.
Probably around 12 seconds
Like
to
12-5
get
or
it
11-5?
down to the bumper.
Well, whatever you think. I think 12-5 gives us more options.
12-5 would be more like a hack weight.
And Joe, the weight change there just to try to keep the shooter around if it does wreck too and have a chance to make it count.
Yeah, they need to make sure that this one stays in the ring somewhere.
Whoa. Clean. Yep.
So hack weight, BJ Neufeld.
Yeah! Whoa! Yeah! Yes!
Difficult port to navigate, staggered the wrong way.
Whoa. No roll. Shot.
And it does roll to open, so fairly cookie cutter double for Mouat, but tough roll there to get through the hole and not roll to the open with how much they could see.
It's almost the best they could do there. A little less weight, wouldn't have rolled so far,
Easy
but
peel.
it would have been hard to hold on the sweep.
The good thing, though, is that when Mouat has made this double, then they can come around their own stone. A tight guard on the outturn side. That's the way Matt will try to score his deuce.
Yep. Yes. Hard.
Swept right out of hand on this one, trying to make sure they get both out. Does not, but stays for shot rock.
That might change things. Maybe he likes to go with more speed and try to roll in a little bit with.
And I think you want to be just
fight the fork.
Not
One
even,
thing it
but
definitely
at the
changes
most,
is
he might come off of it.
if Dunstone does elect to draw, which it looks like he is, Mouat has to be very careful with what they play on their last. They can't get overly aggressive on any kind of run or port because they could give up 3 as opposed to a 2.
And I really like this call to still draw.
I agree.
He's got to be very precise, not be a rock too deep. Then Mouat might make the in-off. off his own.
Yeah, you can't play the hit really and not leave them a double back, and you do bring 3 in and a better chance at 2, I think, too, Joe, playing this draw.
Yeah, I like this call. They saw this path earlier in the end on Colton
Think I can
Lots.
take a broom more?
It was light and over curled, but Matt had said he just didn't quite finish his release. So we'll see if they went to school here. And a bite top 4 would be pretty close to perfect.
And not a lot of margin. If he's only full 8, you might see Bruce come around that too, and he might have a pretty good chance of stealing. And if he's full 4, they got that in-off double. So he's got to be bite 4 and nothing else.
Gotta go for line.
This one's curling too.
Hard line. Hard. Roll it, roll it, roll it in, roll it in, roll
Maybe
it in,
something
roll
to
it
keep
in,
an
roll
eye
it
on
in.
with that stone, too. Second time that's over curled on Matt. They did get on the sweep both times, but just something to chalk away in case maybe there's something with that stone. I like to give the players the benefit of the doubt, but only for so long. If it is a bad stone and they don't catch it by later in the game, then it's on the players anyways.
Yeah, I don't mind the tap.
Might just be a little slower on that side too. That didn't have a ton of weight on it in the end.
What do you think's easier?
Yeah, they thought the weight was there. It ended up maybe being top 8 with the sweep the entire way.
Here it might seem like the out-turn draw through the port is kind of the no-brainer call, but at the same time, you really can't afford to touch any of those reds, or you might bring 3 into play. Tapping the yellow is almost a guarantee that you will tap it into sit 2, but you will leave a much easier score for Matt.
Top button. Yep.
That's kind of the decision. Do you draw and try to really take it to Matt, maybe even get a steal?
Do you think you could ever leave him the flat?
But also, you can't miss. If you're going to go for this one, you have to hit
trying
the
to go
board,
level?
you have to sit 2.
Put it top button. I don't want to be here and he's got the run double. Gotta make sure we're past this one. Top button. T-line's okay.
Edge of the yellow.
That red stone still getting on the paint
Inside
makes a
edge.
big difference, too.
Yeah. You can give me a hair more if you want.
I think so. I think that'll get there.
Okay, and again then.
T-line. Top 4.
And also acknowledging
might give
Matt's
him the
hit
run double,
ability.
but it's tough.
They leave it a little bit short. They will leave a run double, and Matt might take it on, and if he takes it on, he'll be close. Again, he's got to be precise with his weight here, around the 4-foot area.
Lots
Through
of
the
room.
board, first
Lots
of
of
all.
room.
Little bit of room.
Mouat playing the out-turn come
Line's
around
good,
draw.
yeah. Yes. Hard line.
Trying to get it to at least 4 foot.
Really gonna go line. Hard. Hard.
Gotta go
Gotta
for
go.
line now, too.
Really hard.
Really tight to the guard.
Wow.
Oh, that's going to leave an open hit for 3 for Dunstone.
Hey, they've got another
Again, a
stone.
little bit of difference in the sweep, even wrecking the guard, still spilling into the rings.
Yeah, I'm thinking
They
like
make
I got like here.
difference of an
what I'm
extra
thinking.
point here for Dunstone.
There's no panic early on that one. Just
No.
got fooled a little bit by the spot.
Thinking 9-5.
Yeah, we saw a couple of rocks early in this game,
Looks like
kind
a
of
lot of ice for 9-5.
under
but
curl and ending up a little heavy.
I think I need edge.
A couple of draws, and now we're seeing
Think I need
almost
less.
all of them being short and over curl. So definitely the surface has changed.
Last thing I
Players
want to do
wouldn't
is
miss
fucking
this
watch
much
down the ice.
unless it hadn't.
9-5.
Joe, this is a shot you normally play with a little
Believe it's
more
a little
weight to take
crunchy in
the
here.
ice out of it and the outside of the
They're
sheet,
close.
but has to be very precise with where they hit this to not wreck on their own.
And doesn't want to roll out either, so we'll use the sweepers with the weight selection.
(9-5) the call from Dunstone, throwing normal weight for a nose hit for his 3.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Curl, 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 curl.
Colton Lott trying to get this to curl, to stick around. No problem at all. 3 on the board for Dunstone. Now they take a 3-1 lead into the 4th end over Bruce Mouat.
All right, good break, boys.
When you've conquered another game, a long
tough spot to draw.
On that halfway, like I don't know what happened. Bruce
roller coaster of an
I
end
think he
in
got
the
maybe
third
outside of where we were, and
some misses
fresh.
on both
I don't know.
sides.
That was weird.
A couple wrecks on guards on come around draws, and usually the team with hammer takes advantage on the last shot then, and Matt Dunstone does. Makes the open hit. 4-3. Leads the world's #1 ranked team, Bruce Mouat, 3-1. Playing the fourth end, Tyler George here with Nicholas Sedin and Joanne Courtney.
Line's
He had
good.
lots out of his hand, but
Joe really kind of who wants it with that end, and doesn't seem that anybody really did until the final stone.
Yeah, I think we just saw both teams get caught up on that wide out-turn come-around spot, which is running a little bit slower and a little bit more swing than they expected, and Matt Dunstone able to capitalize, so we've got a game.
Yeah, it was a little strange. We talked about Matt when they really want to turn it on and score big. They usually do. But in this case, it wasn't really them generating that 3-point. They kind of missed the opportunity. And Bruce, if he makes that very makeable draw, they might not even score in that end. It was looking more like a steal. But then after wrecking the guard, they get an open hit for 3. So a couple of missed opportunities from both teams there, and then ending up in a very interesting 3. To me, this is for the game and for us to watch the game. It's going to be really interesting now.
Yeah, hard to see a 3 after Harden's draw went through the rings on his second. Mouat was lobbing a second yellow underneath the center guard above the T-line, but again, just a couple misses both ways on draws.
We're 2 R's.
And Dunstone really, Nick, from what we've seen from them this week and the way that they've been trying to play, this now plays into their,
no, it's all over.
well, I wouldn't say what we normally call their strength, but where they've been comfortable playing this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mouat is going to have to go hard for getting 2 points back here in the fourth. If they don't, it's going to be tricky to beat this team now. Dunstone, when they have a lead, are tough to beat.
You like that going 2 in, up 2?
Line's good.
I definitely don't like going 2 in next to each other, but
Line's good.
I think they're just kind of knowing that Bruce will ignore them for now. I think they just kind of really want to play it defensively, and even letting Bruce know that they're going to keep it tight. They're going to start hitting as soon as they are allowed to. It kind of sends also that message that Bruce is going to have to take some more risk and maybe forcing the error out of Bruce that way. So just don't really want to generate anything as of right now. I think Dunstone's team, it's more about just eliminating all the opportunities for Bruce.
And Nick, that's a shot that we talked about too in the previous game for Dunstone, that you don't always need the second corner with 5 rock. You can just go right under the first one and go on the offensive. And I think the fact that those two are right next to each other makes them feel pretty comfortable with going in, because that kind of serves as another way to set up a multiple point end when you have that pocket already too. You only need the one corner because you already have 2 opportunities to set up a multiple point end.
Okay, it's a good shot.
Very nice, Fulton.
Very nice.
Yeah, definitely. At the same time, though, it was going to be really hard to defend that kind of pocket for Dunstone. If we were playing, I might have called a second corner for that reason. It's going to be really difficult to kind of play a tight guard for Dunstone with the 2 being next to each other. It was going to be hard to defend, so kind of a free chance of getting a second corner and maybe going hard for 3 in this end.
Really well placed draw there from Mouat around the corner guard. A shot we see so much more now with 5 rock, where you draw under the corner guard without hammer on the 5th rock of the end.
12-14.
Bobby Lammy trying to follow, and this one curling hard too.
Shot.
Taps it back to even up with the other 2.
14.
Interesting setup now with these stones.
It's really thin.
Does it make sense to just throw like 11-5 or something and roll towards ours?
What? On that?
No, like an 11-5, kill the back one and roll over.
Yeah, just go into here. Yeah. Yeah, 11-5.
It looks pretty nice to kind of roll in towards the middle and sit 4 reds. It looks nice for now, but with a lot of curling still to play in this end, excuse me. I would love to kind of get rid of the corner. I would look at maybe running it on the outside yellow one and roll into center.
Yeah! Hard! Whoa, 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 whoa. No roll.
Neufeld gets that by.
These reds are
Okay, good
gotta
shot.
go away in a hurry, and now you have that yellow
there.
dead behind the corner. There's not really going to be another opportunity to get it out of there. So now they need to just
through.
kind of save all the reds in the 8-foot area to
10-5.
not leave an opportunity
Even if you
to
touch this
out-count
and roll
them
up
with
slightly,
the
it's
yellow
good.
behind the corner.
And Joe only playing the
Enough?
single hit and roll on top of the other two. Probably a product of still having 5 shots left in this end, so you don't need to go into full kill mode yet.
Wait here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Whoa.
eliminating a yellow is always a good thing, but to Nick's point,
High 10s. Yep.
that yellow is now fully covered, and it's not going anywhere. We can get these reds rearranged.
Hard roll, hard roll.
Real nice.
Right.
That's really well done. Rolls right to the pocket. Stones sitting next to each other. I mentioned at the beginning of the end, serving as a opportunity for Team Mouat.
Just through.
Delicate shot being asked of BJ Neufeld here, trying to get around the corner guard. That rock's fully buried, so tick off of that and roll in towards the yellow on the center line.
Yep.
And this really is the key shot at the end. If you can make this, they're kind of out of trouble. But it's not an easy shot. You can't see anything of that rock.
Needs to curl past the guard.
Whoa, yep, hard! Whoa, curl!
That rock
Curl,
completely
curl, curl,
buried
curl, curl.
from the hack. Neufeld able to move it to the outside 12-foot and roll back middle. See, had a little bit of space around the guard, but
Going, I could roll on top of your yellow.
yeah, really couldn't see anything at all. So really well done.
Just leave this
Neufeld.
sitting here. This one's safe, and then try and roll
A lot
behind the
of good,
corner.
really difficult shot. He made it almost to perfection. Would have
Yeah.
loved to see that yellow leave the ring.
It's
still.
okay,
That might
yeah.
come
This
into
maybe
play.
squirts a wee bit
Reds are
down.
so grouped
This
together
isn't as safe.
and also used as backing for the yellow top 4.
Yeah, nose is okay.
But not really out of trouble just yet.
No, it
We've heard
probably
some of
just
the players
squirts behind
talk
the
about
corner.
the
but-
houses not being as fast as what
Yeah,
they're
can we
used
kill
to seeing
two?
at these events.
Okay.
That they're kind of hitting the brakes,
Nose.
especially when they get to
Easy
the
peel.
outside and into the 12-foot.
Well, does nose not leave a double back?
It's pretty thin. They have to get like.
So this
if
is
they're
where
going
the
for that, they
big
have to miss this on the pass.
tactical
Like,
discussion kind of
Problem is
needs to
nose
happen.
pushes that
They need to
on
take
anyway,
their
yeah.
time here. How do they solve this equation? Getting rid of all the reds eventually
Just don't
to
wanna
make
move
the
this
yellows
right.
count. And
Love
they
that.
really want to
Yeah.
get a chance for 3 points here. There's enough rocks in play. The situation is open.
Back
The
way
risk
the
of
nose.
steal is
Yeah.
very small at this point.
Worried it does
So
leave
they
this.
really want to try and get
Okay.
3 points
Again, they're gonna have to get it past.
on the board if possible.
I think you just almost stick that in there and make this roll.
Okay.
Like that?
Yep. What weight you throwing?
Hack!
Off the
Oh,
line.
actually, the angles aren't great for us. Because that red almost goes towards that yellow. Just hit and roll into the corner, only killing one of them. Don't want to move the one Bruce has got the ice on too much. I'm going to almost leave it there. Hack, boys.
Whoa. Clean.
Patient call
Whoa,
here,
whoa.
just trying to get the hit
Clean.
and roll behind
Whoa.
the corner. Try to
Yep,
eliminate
whoa.
just one red for
Clean.
now.
Whoa! Clean!
Clean. Yep.
Still
Hard.
3 rocks
Yep,
to throw
hard.
for them
Hard.
following
Hard.
this end. So
Hard roll.
as you mentioned,
Hard.
staying patient. Gets the roll behind corner, completely buried again. And good angles now set up for Team Mouat as well. That's great execution. The Both teams sharpening up a little bit here in this fourth end now after a couple of hiccups in the third.
I think so, right?
The chess match is
See
on.
anything else?
From here, I don't. No.
What?
From here, I don't see anything else. Freeze looks like a good shot. Like top 8?
Yeah, you're top 4 depth.
Okay.
Freeze is kind of the only call here. You have to avoid getting 3 points on the board and hitting the wide 12-foot rock. That's absolutely not the call. You have to take away this pocket now and lob one in there. Probably going to give up 2 doing this.
Yeah, it's the angles are setting up for a pretty good chance for Mouat to score 2. And to your point, Nick, that's kind of conceding that, hoping you get a chance to kill it maybe with your last or your skips first. But for now,
Close. Go ahead, Pete.
protecting
Pete,
against
go,
giving
go,
up
go,
the
go,
3.
Go, hard. Hard, you gotta go. Get low on this. Hard, hard, hard.
Not curling enough and deep, so another rock in the 8-foot, Joe, but doesn't really accomplish what they were trying to.
Almost nose, easy peel. I don't know, a foot heavy, but nowhere near the line they were hoping for.
Yeah. Normal or peel? Peel.
Now we're going to see some granite moving.
The hair low is okay.
This will be really interesting. If this can hit kind of right in the pocket, it'll be interesting to see where that middle red spins, if at all. If they hit it kind of at the same time, it might spin one way or the other here.
Clean. Yep. Hard.
How many can Hardy get moving? Double touch on that shooter. Now the angle's playing very well for Team Mouat. That's a great result there.
Anywhere high on it, I should say.
Yeah.
Whatever this now.
That's what was my first thought.
I think that's what it is.
It's kind of going back, if
Anything
we roll
high on
back
this,
the
it's
tape a
gonna
little
jam
bit
and
and
kill
kind of chasing around that corner, leaving the corner, is now coming back to haunt them.
My memory serves correct, Nick. We had this conversation the last time they played as well. Chasing under the corner, getting in trouble.
Yeah, I just think when you kind of look at trouble early and they have a 2-point lead, you can't really forget about that fact. Just chasing and kind of leaving that corner, you also leave a lot of opportunities for the opposition. As soon as they are getting the chance, they're going to use it. So maybe hitting that a little earlier, even though it might not sit perfectly right after that shot either, they still will have an easier time to clear up everything afterwards. If they leave that corner, it's going to be too late to hit it later. Now when things are stacking up behind it, it's going to be a problem.
Maybe a hair fresh out here. Okay. Same weight as I gave you last time. Hair less, Beach.
I need to make this roll into the 8-foot here, outcount some of those yellows.
Dunstone playing the out-turn, hit and roll.
Green.
The yellow
Green.
counter on the outside.
Yep.
Trying to get into the 8s.
Hard. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Needs to sit now.
Don't really want it to roll behind that.
Fuck's sake. Fucking Christ.
Couple for the jar from Matt as well.
I hit Beach. See, when I went to sweep, I hit one of these
You caught me a little bit off guard there, but I'll continue to say that the stagger in the middle there, it's kind of going towards that red now, but it also rolled so far that it's not out-counting any of the yellows, so it doesn't really matter. Now really looking like 3 points for Bruce, but they still got a couple of reds to deal with. Really want to think this one through. It might take a lot of time, but they can't really not capitalize on this opportunity, being 2 points down in the fourth end. They really want that third point here.
And Joe, you really need to kill one of the reds at least now, but it's a matter of where does the shooter go and what are we leaving Matt on his last?
Yeah, they don't want to leave a double or a triple for Matt even. Hitting this side yellow under the red, that red's going to clip
You can move it slightly.
the yellow in the 12-foot.
Kind of. Oh yeah, I think it's coming. Well,
Yep, I like nose burst.
at what weight?
Control. Yep.
Right now, the problematic stone for Bruce is the red one tucked in kind of behind the corner guard.
Does intern get rid of the red?
That's the one they
I think you should spin to
need
here.
to remove somehow without spilling all the yellows.
I think they're just throwing quiet weight at this, hey, Nick?
9-5.
Yeah, because it's inevitably gonna
Oh, wait.
nudge the yellow
9-5.
that is behind the corner, and they don't want to kill that one. They can't move it too far at all to not be outcounted by the back 12 red. So quiet weight, just stick the yellow and kind of roll into a good position.
Mouat playing the control weight.
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Yellow on to
Yes.
red.
Hard. Whoa. Yep, yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hammy Jr. on the broom. Rolls over
Beauty.
right in front. It's a pretty good leave there. Looks as though Mouat now sitting second, third, fourth, and fifth.
Now the red in the back 12 is annoying too.
Even if you roll to here.
Yeah.
You place on that open yellow one
I think we're throwing it
in
hard.
the forefoot. It's going to go
Throw it hard
directly
with the
back
intern?
to the red in the back 12.
Right.
I think so.
Yeah, that catcher is
Yep,
a
middle
bit
of
of
the
a
rock.
problem.
Okay. Trying to hit 2/3.
Yeah, 3/4, I think.
So if they make this double on the side one, should be buried and sitting third under the corner guard, conceding the 2 to Mouat if it's made. Very important shot here for Dunstone.
2/3.
The 23 Brier finalist, two-time World Junior Bronze medalist. For a big shot here to prevent the big end from Mouat.
He really doesn't want to hit this too thinly. Then the jam comes into play, and it might leave a double back for 3.
Hard.
Sweepers on this immediately. Try not to be thin, as Nicholas mentioned. Rex on the top one.
Okay.
And that's the 3 points back for Mouat.
Right in the nose? Yeah.
They rarely miss runbacks from the hog line, so I can't see him missing this one.
You ain't thrown in? Yeah.
You do need to contend with that jam on the back. As long as it's on the nose or a smidge high, it's okay. Just can't cross.
9-5. Sure. Yeah, it's right in
Joe,
the nose,
what weight do you like throwing for this shot?
Whatever weight the skip is seeing, you heard he just said
you go.
9.5. That's kind of an easy normal.
Okay. Same weight then.
And kind of the reason being, like you said there, Tyler, that he kind of wants to hit this on the nose, and then the yellow will move to the right as we look at the picture here.
Curl.
So he can't
Don't
play
curl,
too
don't
much
curl.
weight.
Clean.
He can't just stick it because it might jam
Hard.
in the back 12.
Hard. Really gonna go, Hammy?
Hard sweep here
Hard.
from Hammy Jr.
Really gonna go.
Trying to keep it nose. And there is that jam that we talked about. So only a 2. Slight bullet dodge there by Dunstone after a roller coaster first 4.
Yeah.
Or last 3 pretty much after the first. We're tied 3-3 at the break in our feature matchup.
You've seen what they could do, and it was very impressive.
Moves the yellow. See the world's best at the Co-op Canadian Open, November 7th to 10th on Sportsnet.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
they could do, and it was very impressive.
Moves the yellow. See the world's best at the Co-op Canadian Open, November 7th to 10th on Sportsnet.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work. Enjoy casual.
You also don't call carve when you dropped it. I like to call hard. Yeah, exactly. I also really want to totally out.
Back for the second half of action in our feature matchup here at the Co-op Canadian Open, second leg of the Grand Slam Curling Tour. Here in Nisku, Alberta, the Silent Ice Arena. Tyler George here with Nicholas Sedin and Joanne Courtney. Heavyweight battle between Matt Dunstone and Bruce Mouat. Nick Dunstone dodged a bit of a bullet there in the final stone of the fourth end. So tied up, does get the 2 from Mouat, but no surprise here in the 5th. I think we could have predicted that Matt's going to go right to the wing again, playing odd end, try to run this out, try to blank and take hammer to 6.
He was good. Yeah, definitely. They still have the momentum in this after scoring the big 3 in the third end and then kind of dodging a bullet in the 4th.
Yeah, don't be afraid to push
Even
back,
though it's a
Keith.
tight game, but Matt in
13-7-5.
control now.
Back 4 weight. Yeah.
And Joe, I don't think you like the call very much based on the expression. We expected this, whether or not we agree with it, but Matt has shown throughout the couple games we've done of theirs that they're very content to play 0 or 2, closer to 0 in these odd ends in the 5th especially.
Yeah, and I just think Mouat's team obviously
you, Grant.
senses that, so here we
Grant.
go, double guns. They're going to go hard to force the issue now. Not just going to give up the free blank like they did in the first end here. So it's been an interesting game so far. I'd call that a very uncharacteristic miss out of Bruce Mouat last end. Just a precision normal weight hit. You don't see that curl more than expected very often. So both teams have had their misses. I think just the conditions are a little bit different this afternoon, and it's going to be whoever wrestles that down first that will have the edge.
Top 4.
Good line.
Ryan Harnden trying to take this top 8, top 4 position underneath the center guards. And Joe, so much of the reason to play this shot is taking the position away from your opponent as much as it is going there yourself, because that's absolutely their spot to either steal or get the force.
Yeah, exactly. And Ryan, he's had a hard time with his second rock. I'm not sure if he's flipped them around or what, but often the lead will have the mismatched stones, and he managed that one perfectly. He was a little bit heavy with it, kind of 2 ends in a row there, so he's wrestled it down now.
Showing a clip of Pablo Lachata on this big screen up here. I could watch him sweep all day, but it makes every part of my anatomy hurt watching him do it, too. He's got more kinesia tape than a physical trainer's office.
I'll tell you, after 2 years away from the game, that sweeping is no joke. That's
Just clean it in.
It was very unilateral and very hard on the body.
Great freeze there from Bobby Lammy. Really important shot there for trying to get a force or a steal. And Nick, that's a victory for Team Mouat either way. If they're either able to force Dunstone to one or get a steal either way. They're happy with the team scoring one here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that freeze is going to make it a little tricky for Team Dunstone. It was just a little too deep. That come around needed to be a rock higher so that the freeze isn't in such a good position as it is now.
Trying to carve this and now trying to hold the line.
Start that.
Yep.
Good shot, Cole.
That's called and made.
Yeah,
Right
really
at
well
that
done there.
Freeze for now. Okay.
Creative shot call from Dunstone,
Same
rolling
again, then.
the shooter over for a corner guard as well.
You can take a touch off.
Pretty interesting calling the freeze already. I would have expected maybe one more tight guard, kind of forcing Dunstone to peel the top one or try to hack weight the tighter one and maybe get a mistake out of them. But when
Line's great.
down to freeze already,
Top 12.
a lot of time for Dunstone to
Line's really
clear
good.
this mess up now.
Top 8. We're getting close.
Hard
If
line.
they make it good though, they're going to add a lot of
Clean,
pressure
clean.
to
Yep.
Dunstone
Hard.
to really
Wait,
make
perfect.
every shot fly.
Hard.
Right.
That's perfectly
15.
done again. Bobby Lammy with great touch on both those freezes.
Great shot. Huh? Travel nice.
Oh, a Matt Hamilton fan club poster here. Oh, he's gonna love that. You make sure he sees it. You'll have a friend for life there. Got some Hamilton fans coming by the booth. Good to see some young fans in the stands as well.
Clean.
Good to see some of their idols here in the booth. Nicholas and Joanne next to me.
Yeah, and there was a fellow commentary friend, Luke Coley.
Yeah. Done some games with Luke with World Curling TV. One of the best in the biz as well. Always good to see Luke in the building.
Okay. Just tuck it in so it can't run. Pretty okay speed here, Bob, eh?
Unlock that back stone, move it all the way to back 12s. Stays top 8 on top of the other two reds. So again, the chess match in play with
Got through it a lot.
chipping stones around,
Lots of room.
freezes, playing position.
Lots of
Line's
room.
great.
This is
Line's
looking
great.
more and more like a trying to get
Line's
2
really good.
for
Close
Dunstone.
for curl.
Blank is, we'll never say it's out of
Needs to
play,
sit.
but it's
Needs to sit. Needs
very
to sit.
difficult right
Curl.
now.
Curl. Whoa.
I'll say it's out of play.
I agree.
All right, you heard it. It's in the books. It's in marker.
Yeah, the key to that was the freeze that was called. It was not completely without risk, but they made it so perfect that now the angles stay perfect, and it's going to be really problematic for Maddie to try and score 2 in this end. Might have to settle for 1, but a lot of curling left to play until that happens.
Neufeld trying to get a bunch of these moving. A little unfortunate with the redirect onto their own.
Oh boy. Making this.
Now what about to sit a pile?
Okay. Yep, we'll see it.
Try and get here inside. Nose is okay.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
That's
big
fine.
trouble as of right now, but still a few rocks to come. They can clear up the mess, but it's going to be perfect curling from here on in to get something out of this for Dunstone.
Gotta catch that top red, just whisker it off the frozen yellows. Tough little break there for Team Dunstone.
Close, yep. Yes. Hard.
Hack weight, out turn, takeout attempt.
Clean.
Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Clean.
Curl.
Straight.
Grant Hardy.
Curl.
Clean. Clean.
Straight.
Straight.
That's perfectly done again. And Joe, we see them again manage those shots so well. You know, we know they throw the high hard one, but just the control over those stones with the sweeping and the weight control, they make so many of those hack the board weight shots.
Yeah, really strong sweepers, and as we mentioned in the opening, just they all throw the rock so similarly to each other. Every team tries to do that, but I feel like they do it the best out of any team on tour.
Oh, we never
No
tried
offense,
to
Nick.
do that.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, you get some abstract art from our squad. It's 4 different throws completely, but yeah, Ed's. I mean, we'll go back to that after this shot here with Neufeld trying to get a bunch of these moving again. Only loses the one.
Still made some space, though.
Yeah.
I would be pretty happy with that shot if I'm Team
Yeah,
Dunstone.
scoring space is a lot more open now, and Mouat immediately calling for that in-turn come around. But back to that point too, Joe, about the repeating the deliveries and making them similar, practicing in pairs, recording each other's delivery and switching from practice to practice, so that if it works, now for Bruce, he can broom the same for all 4 players. But it's hard to describe to people how difficult it is to do that because curling deliveries are so different player to player, and what works for each player doesn't work for another one. So in theory, yes, if you can get that to work, if you can get your deliveries that similar, then it makes brooming considerably easier, but so difficult to do to change what is your normal tendency.
Yeah, and to add to that too, they also throw a little extra rotation, and I heard that they feel that it's easier to carve a rock that has a little more rotation, so that much more manipulation available on the brushes for this team.
Close for line.
Line's good.
Hard line. Hard line.
Love to get this buried. Top button.
No.
Don't think this is going to be above the tee line. So some scoring space for Dunstone still.
Interesting. This is going to the away end, and I just feel like this in-turn to the middle is running probably the fastest on the sheet. We saw the out-turn kind of curl and die, but Bruce just got caught in that. Line was absolutely perfect.
14.25 on that. I had 14.25 on that. Okay.
We heard 14.25, Nick. That's
40.
maybe what we've
35,
seen
40?
for, as you were mentioning, it getting a little slower as we get to the final couple ends.
Yeah, but if a 14.25 is there without sweeping, you can throw a high 14 with some brushing, even a 15 with these guys. That's really nice speed.
I was going to say, if anything, I think we might see it being a little quicker at the end of this game. It slowed down, it looked like, in the second and third, but now a 14.25 behind the tee line, almost no sweeping. That's pretty fast, actually, for this week. The feeling has been pretty quick, but the split times hog to hog to make it a tee line has been low 14s for the most part. If you want to throw a 14.5, you got to sweep it quite a bit to get it to tee line.
A little bit of room.
So that's why I asked instead of just saying it. So correct it, make it right.
Yeah, and we also see that Matt here might have a little bit.
Okay, hard. Straight.
A little bit extra. Been there, done that.
Yeah, very frustrating there for Dunstone. As he knows that it's a missed opportunity again.
Yeah, those are so tough as the thrower. Like, you have to be there. You come up late. It's not good. You wanted to be shot and just throws it there on his own. Didn't quite catch the curl.
Yeah, it's not a tolerant shot. It's just a make-it shot.
Yeah.
If you ever tap
And
like an inch,
it's going to be trouble if Bruce can lock this on slightly on the inside of that red. It's going to be an extremely tough score.
here off, okay. Yeah.
Third rock down this line. Hazard to guess that this will run quite nicely.
Mouat's final stone of the fifth. Big in-turn freeze attempt.
Oh, line's great.
Love to move it just a couple inches
Line's
and
great.
sit two.
Yes. Line's great.
But just throwing it to draw weight, sweeping for the tap.
Hard,
Swan's
Tommy.
tracking
Hard,
very well.
Hard, gotta go. Hard. Really hard. Whoa, no.
Ooh, took a hard turn. Wrecks the rock at the top of the 8-foot, so that path has been very tricky.
I'm wondering about
teams.
Bruce's second rock there. That's twice now.
Over curled
And
again.
no panic early out of the hand.
Shot. 9.5.
I think it also adds a little bit too when He threw the first one behind the tee line, almost no sweep, and then he sees Mass Rock also sliding deep and kind of not taking that curl. He probably just took a lot off and maybe just a little softer with it all. Line looked pretty good, but softer weight, softer delivery, just made it kind of curl a little earlier and caught that top 8-foot rock. So off the hook again here for Maddie.
The only reason I question that rock is just the sweepers didn't seem to want to sweep it. Sometimes when you see your skip make a double adjustment, less body speed, less release, you'll see the sweepers just start sweeping instantly as soon as they let it go. And they weren't doing much with that until at least halfway down the sheet, even more.
And actually, very similar situation to the third end when Bruce had a chance to draw the port without turn and just wrecking and being kind of a little short on that one too. Very, very similar scenario. Had Dunstone under pressure, but then that last rock just not making it there. Now a chance for two. Not easy.
Hit and roll. Final stone. Dunstone needs to roll this all the way to the button for his second point. But this is close. Over curled already. Wrecks the guard. Some frustration here from both sides, and Dunstone just takes the single in the fifth, leads 4-3 after 5 ends.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So Dunstone with a shot for two on their last and ends up
Where do you want it?
wrecking. Takes the single. No matter what the scoreboard says there, we're quite certain Dunstone did get a single in the fifth. There we go. They lead 4-3 over Bruce Mouat. Bruce will have hammer in 6. And obviously big difference there, Nick, in the scoreboard and the game situation. Your percentage chance of winning the game up by 2 with 3 ends to play considerably different than up by 1. Call this basically a coin flip now.
Yeah, and also that kind of opportunity got let off the hook by Team Mouat. Getting a chance of a 2 and kind of out of nowhere kind of score big ends and the odd ends, the 3 and the 5, but not capitalizing. And we could kind of see that everything ran straight and quick on the one side, and when they switched to the other side, it was gone basically out of hand. It was nowhere close to target. We'll keep a track of that in this end. If the in-turn side will be a little slower, the out-turn, that's where pretty much all the play has been lately.
Sorry.
Corner guard up this end for Mouat. They'll be going hard at trying to get their 2 here in 6. Ryan Harden after the center guard. Trying to go underneath the top 8, top 4.
Line's great. It's got to curl a bit. Curl, curl, curl right to stop.
Top 4.
Just go, just go.
Top button.
Keep going, Colt. Keep
Top
going,
4.
keep going, keep going. Good pair.
Shot Pete.
There's that nickname again too, Pete, that we heard for EJ. Or sorry, for Ryan. What do we know the source of that one, Joe?
Oh, there was a time I knew the answer to that question, and I forget now. That's been his nickname forever. Do more research, step into this analyst role.
And that's the really deep insider stuff there.
Line's good.
Every once in a while we've got the answer, but yeah, that one's a mystery. If anybody knows and wants to text any of us, if you know us, please feel free. And if it's something we can't say on the air, we'll consider it.
We might still.
Yeah, different broadcast here, folks.
Stream vibes, a little more casual.
Stream vibes, I like that.
Stay a little high on it. Anything in here is going into there.
Okay.
Bite the four.
Nicely done by Junior, getting around the corner.
The leads are at 100. Would have liked to maybe be a little bit higher than that around the corner, just kind of biting top 8 foot. They're going to try to corner freeze their own so that if it gets run back into, it might go into that side one.
Little bit for line. Line's good.
Top 4.
Okay, room. T-line.
This is the side of the sheet that's running really nicely.
Can you come here?
They had a 14-8 on Ryan's.
Hard. Hard.
Not there.
Hard, you're still by. Hard. Hard. You gotta go.
Gonna go around this stone top 4.
Good call.
Really good call by Dunstone. Good adjustment.
But at the same time, result not nearly as good as making the freeze they were going for. So a little bit of an opportunity missed, and it's kind of surprising to see that they're not picking up one side is that quick. You have a lot of margin to being a little short and then bring the sweepers into play. Going to be around the stone you're trying to freeze in that quick path. You have probably almost 10 feet of brushing margin on this ice when it's this quick, 14-8 on that top 4 stone. So that is quite a big miss, actually, even though it looks okay at the moment, being on the button.
Hammy Jr. carving this,
Hard,
hitting and rolling off the one in the top of the 4 foot under the corner. That is beautifully done. We'll say Hammy got that one moving a little bit. You see the roll almost completely buried underneath, but a really good spot. Forces Dunstone to do something with the corner guard now.
These are tough. You're running in the opposition's rock, trying to at least kill 2 yellows.
This is Colton Lott's bread and butter, though. This is the shot he does really well.
Curl.
Hey, good shot.
Loses, we'll say 1. Leaves the guard up there, so still buried. Better than it was, and now it's your stone.
Same way. 11-8.
Mouat, a good setup to try to get there too now.
Same throw, Bob. Okay. Where are we rolling you?
Basically exact same line for Bobby. Don't want to roll towards the other one this time.
Wait's good.
Whoa. Careless. Clean.
So Joe, looked like they're trying to roll actually across to the opposite side, so get fairly close to the guard.
Straight. Hard.
Now they don't think that they're able to, so they're just holding for nose.
Yeah, they'd wanted to try to over-roll past that center line guard to the right-hand side of the screen as you see it.
Well, same run back now. New fella get a crack at it. It's possible to lose both yellows if made perfectly. See if BJ can come up big for his team.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Calling the audible here.
Yeah, well, I'd say well called or not called. To nut that into the rock in the 4 foot, so you hear Dunstone a little uncertain because he knew it was on the wide side, but ends up making the slash in run and opens up the other counter, so a good result.
Yeah, result actually a lot better than stuffing it on behind the corner and leaving a corner. Now they got rid of the guard and the one in the house.
Yep.
The second best after run double.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yes.
This one does roll to the opposite side of the center guard.
12-5.
This should be not as good a spot.
Heard DJ say this should be not as good. So this is that other side of the sheet we have not seen very much play on. These lighter weight shots, as the thrower, you kind of want to make sure you're the weight. And the sweepers need to be ready to go.
Probably won't have to carve this too early. If you're patient, this is going to curl eventually.
Whoa. Curl. Curl. Clean. Straight.
Curl.
Whoa.
Curl.
Curl. Curl. Curl. Curl. Curl. Hard roll.
What a nice shot.
Good.
Pretty well done. Just a sliver peeking out on the out-turn side. And if there's a side you want to show any on, that's the one.
Back line.
It's really well managed.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
And that's just BJ showing a lot of experience there too, kind of knowing in the hack this will be the slower side, and that curled a ton. Didn't overthrow it, didn't underthrow it, just made the roll that he needed to, where we've seen previously in this game a lot of mistakes on that slower side, ending up short or over curled.
Well then.
Well done by BJ.
Carve. Carve.
Gotta go.
Hard for a piece.
Okay. Okay.
Hoping to just make contact at that point.
Unlucky, bud.
Rolls off the paint as well. So now Dunstone sitting one.
So he's doing it if we don't, right?
And well thought out there too. The thought from Dunstone is we hit, they're going under the center, so we better do it first as long as we're shot rock.
Why not? Like hit or draw? Hit? Yeah.
Draw's the best shot for sure.
Know how to make this. Fight the 4.
I like the draw. You're coming around
fight the 4 is the
the
ideal.
other side. There's no concern about leaving a double by accident as long as they get a piece under. There's some room to work with. Have to be at least full 8, but they can make it good.
Fight the 4.
It's also their own guard. It would be a little bit different if this was a yellow rock in front of the rings. The Mouat being so good at sticking the run backs buried. Even though it's a low percentage shot, they do it so often you don't want to give them the attempt too often.
Someone's play Russian. Try the same as me.
But in this case, the run back would just be a double, and they would probably still get the force out of it. Time to turn on steal mode.
I definitely would prefer the draw here, I think. Just for the analysis they had initially. They are sticking with it.
Okay, you got room. You got some room. Can't for line.
Line's good.
Line's okay. Still got room though. Still room. Let it work if you can.
Colts rock.
Always
Should come
Colts
down
rock.
nice on this line.
You got to go top button here.
It's looking heavy again on this side.
A little bit cold. Yeah. Hard. Whoa. Okay, not bad.
He's behind the tee.
Not sure why BJ called on the sweeping there, to be honest. That extra 1 inch of curl, probably not worth it considering now they're behind the tee line.
You might even over Carl, to be honest, Bruce. Just what you giving me this week?
Yeah, 13-5.
Yeah.
Also curled enough to kind of be accessible on the other side so that they roll towards the other red.
13-5.
Yeah, in this intern, we saw it come up nicely for Team Dunstone earlier this end on BJ's rock.
Hit half stone's really nice.
Mouat trying to bring that other yellow stone back into play. This hackish weight.
Close.
Trying to chip and roll over on top of the other red.
Hard!
This is really curling.
Right to it, Hammy. Right to it. Hard. Never off.
Gonna be all over the guard.
Hard, Bob. Hard.
Yeah,
Get it open.
Bruce didn't have hackish for breakfast this morning.
Sorry.
Yeah, that line, you really need to get it out of your hand clean. I mean, any curling shot you do, but just taking a little bit more
Like I was
turn,
thinking like something like this.
not running as
Right.
quick as the other side.
You don't think it makes sense to sit
That was
3?
gone right away.
Well, if we're here, I think he probably takes this on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Right up there.
Top 12, even if you're just biting, like just show him a bit of this side.
Yeah, let's cross it.
Yeah.
A bit.
Okay.
Joe, you like this here?
I do. They want to make sure that they're guarding the left-hand side of the rock that's on the back button because they don't want to leave a double for Bruce.
Full 12 in front.
I like it into the rings, makes the draw a little bit more precise. They throw just a guard. It's a pretty simple draw to the tee line for Team Mouat.
Let's get the line right. We just got to make sure we get on Pete's side of it. Okay, I'm thinking like a 45.
I think I heard pizza.
On Pete's side of it.
Yeah, pizza, you love it.
You just got hungry now, too. You got it on the mind. Dunstone throwing. Out-turn draw. Top ring.
Your line's good.
As Joanne said, want to make sure you don't leave the double. No piece of the number one
Line's
counter
top 12.
on the intern
Just
side.
Go.
Just go.
Dying.
Yeah,
Line's
this is
good, guys.
really
Just go.
turning over, too.
Just go.
Keep going.
Just go. Keep going.
No
Right
speed.
to stop.
Right to stop.
Right to stop.
Trying to get it across.
Yep,
Take the double away.
Good
Just does.
Shot, Matt.
Tempting as it is to try something for more than one, they really need to score in the sixth end here. So it's just a tap for one here.
I think if you're in a spot where
Accomplishes
he
the
knows
main
that he's
purpose,
out-counting
but
that,
plenty of room for this draw for Mouat.
I think they're just playing it with kind of back ring weight. Try to get to nose and tap it back.
Broom just off edge of 4 would say that, and
Grant's just ran super straight.
the final stone of this sixth end. Mouat trying to tie the game, looking at 2 Dunstone counters. Back line weight.
Red. Leave a room.
Only hearing
Clean,
back
man,
4
clean.
from Handy Jr.
Hard then.
Now T, so
Can't
they
hurt
think
it
this
then.
is really having weight come
Line's
off.
really good. Hard, Bob. Hard line now. Hard. Hard. You've got to bounce it in this line. Hard. Hard. You've got to bounce it.
And just good enough on the sweep, so Mouat does secure the single.
Sorry, boys.
2-end game, all tied up. They hung an 8 on the scoreboard, but pretty certain that only counts for 1. 4-4, Dunstone and Mouat to the 7th.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, where your Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Tied at 4 with 2 ends to play in regulation time.
I like tight hammer.
Mouat and Dunstone on to the 7th end. Dunstone with hammer. So Nick, no mystery here. This is all out force or steal.
Line's good.
For Team Mouat, can't give Dunstone the blank.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they don't really
Line's good.
care if they're giving up
Line's
4 or
really
5 points here.
Line's great.
You've got to get a score on the board. Can't blank this end. You'd probably rather give up 2 than blanking this end.
Yeah, the stats that we've seen play out for 5-rock free guard zone rule has shown that, and teams have shown that preference as well to be the down 2 with situation as opposed to tied up without.
Top 4. Go ahead. Line's great. Line's great.
Yeah,
Just
that's kind
nibbling
of
a
the fun part of it to watch, but it's not always as fun as a player. You can control the whole
great
game, be 2 points up, and still you're not in full control of it. You might give up 3 points, even though you don't really make any mistakes. So this 5-rock rule has made it really interesting. Teams are never really safe unless you're up 3 points or more.
Line's good. It's close. Line only. Leave a room then.
Joe, really good depth on that come-around draw by Ryan Harden. Exactly where you want that stone. Any deeper, and the freeze cuts down the scoring space. Any higher, and they can come around it. They are coming around anyways right now, but
that wasn't by design,
not
though.
by design.
Probably just going on top of ours.
Let's get on top
And
of
it
ours.
is that quicker in-turn side. How many mistakes have we seen now? And
Think so?
I would think the teams really have talked about it between ends after back-to-back misses. Last end where we're going this way. And now again, pretty far from making that freeze top 8. It's kind of hanging the forefoot in the back there. So the teams will need to adjust much quicker than this. Especially Team Mouat if they want to steal or force in this end.
Hard! You're never off this. Whoa.
It's a good shot, Pete.
Hey, Pete, good spot.
Turns over and stops in the top of the 12-foot. They don't mind that spot.
Freeze it on 3/4, I think.
It's going to be a little bit in the way, though.
I think longer,
almost acting like a guard top 12. Look how it curls
for
at
one.
the end.
If they're going to play, we're fine with that.
And Nick, a couple nights ago, exact same situation, basically, that we saw where Team Jacobs was the one that changed gears in the 7th, try to get their 2, which they did, playing against Dunstone, tied up. So with the way that Dunstone has played, again, same prediction we made before, we expect them to run and try to make some granite move, get out of the end for a blank opportunity, but you see the angles playing out well enough that maybe they go after their 2 now.
Yeah, exactly. And it depends so much on the angles and kind of Scotland.
Matt's thinking about it right now, too. Sorry to interrupt. And there's the timeout, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of the missed draw, the freeze attempt by Hammy that ends up all the way hanging back 4. That kind of makes it a little tricky. You can't just
figured it was kind of
take this lightly now.
Yeah, I mean, the options are to
Even
try
though
and double
it wasn't
rip.
good to end up back 4.
Single
it's
rip,
still tricky to deal with for Team Dunstone.
Play on the back.
Because if you freeze to it, you're more than full 4, and you could potentially get a lot of good things happening back there now.
Okay.
And Joe's point holding valid, too. That rock on the top of the 12-foot is what they're talking about, trying to clear.
Just want to make sure we're on the same page with what we're going to do. Yeah. 7/8.
Still a lot of rocks left to play and a lot of good hitters on the team. So no reason not to double these guards off, or at least try it. You can still switch gears later if it doesn't work out, but if you make a double peel early here, not going to be easy for Mouat.
Whoa, whoa, curl. Okay.
Okay, Cole.
Just gets the single. High guard is gone, and quick decision from Mouat to replace. Either team in dire straits on time. Mouat just under 7 minutes and counting. Dunstone at 6:13. Dunstone now 1 timeout remaining. Mouat has both. As this guard is coming down. Quick spin around the other games. And if you're using Home Team Live correctly, you've got the quad box going anyways, and you're watching all 4 of these. But Kleider and McEwen tied at 3. McEwen with hammer in the 7th.
Yep.
You have it.
Definitely.
And Schuster 3-3.
Line's
Hammer
good.
to Hosley in the 7th as well.
Yep. Line's great. Line's great.
Over on sheet D, Yannick Schwaller with a 6-3 lead and hammer.
Yeah.
Wary of that too, is why I wasn't sure.
As well as Team Jacobs has been playing. A bit of a surprise to see them very likely to lose that game down 3 without. But Schwaller, Nick, you know them well. That's a heat check team there. When they get things going, they can shoot with anybody in the world. And they got a good rhythm going right now.
Absolutely. They are coming in hot for the Europeans next week. So
yeah, you don't like seeing that. Cool it down now, boys. Get them out of the system.
The thing is that I've seen that for 10 years now, so I'm kind of getting used to it.
Yeah, you've probably skipped against 3 of them as skips in your career as well, too.
My first thought, but
yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
then
just waiting for
freeze
Pablo
them.
to
There's 2 center guards.
turn skip.
Yeah, when he's completely
worry,
mummified
you
in
can get them all
kinesiotape,
going, huh?
maybe he's only calling the house after that.
If we come around.
Exactly.
Well, same for
Yeah,
Mouat
but
with
you don't
decision
quite tuck
time
enough.
for them with timeout.
Think they're doing that yet?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Freeze and the intern on my next. One more.
I thought so.
Just that cat and mouse
Just so we
game.
know we're clear what we're doing.
Yeah, I think
Then round.
it's pretty early for them to come in.
I think so too, and if they do, we can then make plays.
Yep.
Same spot.
They don't want to come in too early and allow Team Dunstone with more time to clear up the middle. But they also are a little wary if they put up another high guard that then Team Dunstone will come in and try to generate something. But Bruce made a good point. He said, well, then we can play something in there too. I think Team Mouat would be pretty happy if Team Dunstone ignored the high guard.
Oh, 100%. That goes both ways, too.
Yeah, let's make
I
it
think Dunstone would be thrilled if Mouat came in right now. So, yeah, the cat and mouse game continues. It's a matter of who's going in when, who's going to be first. And I think we all agree there with Bruce's decision that it would be too early for Dunstone to go. So, throw up one more guard.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Got to make
Over
it good.
curl.
You
Always Hammies.
don't want to leave an easy
Over
double
curl.
peel here.
Okay. It's okay.
Over curls a little bit, but looks like Dunstone is
You like
going
that?
for it right now.
Or is it this draw?
Do we try the double peel again?
Yeah, they left an angle with that high guard. I thought they would take a run at the double peel.
Yeah.
If it was a perfect high guard, I'd maybe see them come in.
there real good.
Even that couple extra inches of curl leaving this double peel so that the shooter can roll off too makes a big difference.
And also, Team Mouat making a small mistake there. We kind of waited the whole end to try and clear up that middle, but when you get the chance not to take it, that would be a little strange. So I think double peel is the right call here.
And well done by Neufeld.
Guard or double
Shooter
roll
rolls
wide.
over to the draw path on that side of the sheet as well. Something to note. The applause you heard was for the final score over on D.
He goes half
Team
round there,
Schwaller
right
with 8-3 victory over Team Jacobs after taking 2 in the 7th end.
Okay. Halfway. Right, halfway tight then. Okay, same sliding through it, Mark.
Another guard.
Felt just
At
halfway.
Hardy. This time
Well
put it
then.
halfway, not so tight that it's a shorter run, but
Line's
not
good.
so high that you can dig that backstone out.
Line's good.
Okay.
Close curl.
Curl. Wait, no, you're not. You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, hair tighter than what they like, but they're okay with it.
Now, right?
You ever making that?
Okay.
Is that what you see?
I think so. Straight peel is probably pretty
Stop.
good. Right?
Thick half. 2/3.
BJ thinking straight peel is good here. Matt wants to get everything moving. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they're close enough together, so I'd be very tempted to give this a go as well. And if you just happen to get the single peel, that's fine.
Whoa, whoa. Curl, curl.
This
Gotta
can
go.
definitely go wrong, though. Just getting the single peel. Now a very difficult decision for Bruce. Do you go down and freeze to your own in the back? And you will see the 2 reds promoted. And if made in a nice way, they might sit 3. could potentially also just make the double and sit 2, try and get the force that way. You would leave a very makeable double for Dunstone and maybe even 2 attempts at it.
It's a little touchy to make sure you miss the back one. If you hit it right, you will. But just a hair too thick and you lose your own. And
you like it on the out or the in?
It's 0 or 2.
I think you get it over more on the out.
Yeah. Making the freeze or guarding, and that it's definitely too late to guard. And Matty is coming around and gonna be too late. But freezing on that back stone, unless you make it absolutely perfectly, then there's a big chance Red will sit 3 after it.
Leads of the world. Your rocks are important. All 3 stones in the house are lead stones right now.
Easy peel.
You've got a good memory.
Every once in a while. Just, I guess I can remember where they threw them originally and that nothing's moved since. It's just been guards. So.
You actually pay attention?
Yeah.
Close.
But you guys do most of the heavy lifting, but we'll pop in with something.
Yep. Hard. Yes!
Double attempt here with soft weight from Mouat. Made perfectly. Rolls over to top 12, just like you said, Nick. And controlled the weight really well, Joe. Didn't overthrow it. Had to make sure that stuck around, or
that looks like 2/3 to me.
You're in trouble. So.
Yeah, brought the sweepers into it to help maintain that line, but as we discussed, this will leave an opportunity here for Dunstone to make this double and potentially get out of this end with a blank.
The good thing for Team Mouat here is that it rolled far enough that if he misses this double, there's no plan B to kind of still sit in the rings, force Bruce to do something more difficult than just come around the corner. So he basically have to make it now.
Dunstone playing to try to set up a blank still. How high that corner guard is, there really isn't a spot that they could get to, that you couldn't dig it out. So huge shot here for Matt.
Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Whoa.
Just papers by. And Mouat will go under the corner guard
We need
to
to
play
be
for the
dead
force.
buried still, eh? Yeah. I think we're going level, are we?
I want to be high behind the guard, no?
Okay.
High behind the guard? Yeah. Middle 4.
Doesn't matter a ton, the height of the rock under the guard, as long as there's no blank opportunity whatsoever.
Similar weights to what I gave you for this,
We'll,
or is that too heavy?
potentially see an interesting debate. Do you just take your 1, or do you peel the 1 and give up 1 to have control? If there's one team in the world that I would kind of give that to, it might be Matt Dunstone. They're really good at scoring 2 or more with hammer. Like that control. Stat saves 60% to be up 1.
Hammy for top 12.
Yeah, it's interesting because of how they've played throughout this week compared to what we've seen them be successful with in the past. Do they play to what's their statistical edge, or do they play to what they've been good at all season long? Again, with getting the 3 down by 2 twice in the last slam, you'd think that they would prefer being down and trying to score, but they've played so defensive this week, they've gotten a lot of forces and blanks. So
Speed's fine still.
And stats definitely favor scoring your 1 here. But those stats are built on a lot of teams at various levels. So when you're only talking about the very top teams in the world, the stats might be slightly different than the general stats.
Gotta go.
And a lot of
Really have to go.
preference comes into it.
Really have to go. Go, go, go. Right
Dunstone trying to play to the stats, and takes the single point. So they will lead by 1 going to the final end. The most exciting end in curling. Team down 1 with hammer. 5-4 Dunstone over Mouat.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes? unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms? Lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Mouat secures the force in 7. It will come down to the final end of regulation curling. Dunstone leading Mouat 5-4. Bruce has hammer here in the 8th. Tyler George here with world champions so many times over to my left.
Keep it alive.
Nicholas Edin and Joanne Courtney.
It's going to need to curl. Just go. Get the depth right.
Joe, for the fans and for us,
really light.
couldn't
Hard.
ask for better. Two of the best in the world.
Go, go, go. Never off.
Playing, as we called it, the most exciting end in curling.
Keep going.
Tied
keep
up,
going.
not nearly as fun. But we've got that classic chess match between
It's probably off, Bruce.
one team going all out for their 2 and the other trying to figure out if they're playing force or steel.
Yeah, and the question here is that guard on the center line or not? And it is not. Looks like, or are they playing the guard? Thought we might see a tick if it was off the center line.
Actually thought there too.
Just throwing it to the corner guard.
Real tight. Line's great.
It looks like it's off.
Yeah,
so
with
We don't
the
need
no
to go
tick
for
rule,
weight
I
anyway.
feel like this end has gotten even more exciting.
Level
Perfect
or-
scoreboard
hey,
for
over
the
curling
fans, but that no tick really does add an extra complexity with more aggressive
I
play
think there's 2 of
enabled.
them, or
I was thinking 1. But
And I think the case here too is that
around the
Bruce
center,
just
or-
knows that if they only score 1, the chances of stealing in the extra are very, very slim. I would think under 10%. In this case, they just really want to
Line's good
build
for
some
Hein.
offense, have a lot of rocks in play to
Little
get
bit for
some
line.
type of shot for the win here.
Okay, just over on this line.
Dunstone
You're gonna wanna
going
cross
with
it
2
just a bit.
centers,
Cross
trying to
this just a
congest
bit.
the center of the sheet as much as they can.
I'm gonna cut out this corner. Just leave it where it is. Shot. Shot, Ryan.
Arden with one of the most nerve-wracking shots in curling, the high center.
Nice toss.
It's never made until the last second of the shot, or never in play until the last second of the shot.
And then
Took off.
you ask the second to
Leave
play
it
the
room.
same, and it's even more nerve-wracking.
That sounded like a pointed comment, Nick, about your teammates and what they may or may not be good at.
No, it's much more so the leads kind of used to this kind of setup. Fairly often when we're down, we want the double centers, but then throwing the high guard as a second or third, or
Yeah,
I
I
would
thought maybe
almost
we're
never
done you.
do it, but when I have to, it's not
I
easy
still have
to
a touch, but
dare to be close to that hog line. If you ever hog it, it's basically game over.
I did want to needle Erasmus just a little bit there, too.
Yeah.
Get you guys going at it.
He's
That's my
hogged
goal.
once or twice over the years. I can guarantee you that.
Line's good. Top 4. Line's good.
So nice
Little
come
row.
around there from Hammy Jr. The top 4.
Little row.
Again, taking that position
Line's good.
first. And Colton Lott trying to follow.
Cannot bounce on this line.
Always
Go ahead.
yep.
You're all over it. You're all over it. Hard, hard, hard. Good.
Shot, Colt.
Very nice.
Really good by Lott.
Yeah, nice
Think you have to,
series of draws here from both teams. This is on the side of the sheet. We haven't seen
What number?
okay.
any draws to the middle on this side
number?
until now. Really well read.
I like it.
Close.
I thought there too.
Lammy following on the same line as well.
Whoa.
Light
Curl.
only.
Wait close.
Yep, wait.
Top
Top
12.
12.
Yep.
Top 8.
This will take a little
Hard
bit of
line.
a guesswork out of
Clean.
it because
Gotta
the
go wait.
one side
Clean.
has been
If you
a
can.
little
Gotta go wait.
slower
Okay.
throughout
Line
parts of
perfect.
this game, but now
Curl a little.
using that side that potentially was slower and harder to
Nice.
predict. Now the surface is going to be
15.
pretty good all over. Less risk of getting caught off guard, making a
15.
big mistake.
Switching sides now.
heavy right now.
Dunstone having Colton Lott play the
Back
out
four.
turn.
Okay, you got room.
Weight's close.
Line's pretty good.
Weight's good.
Line's good.
Top four.
Close. Line's good.
We
Go
can go
ahead.
if we have to.
Yep. Line.
To it.
Whoa.
Small bounce.
Clean, yep. Line. Gotta go. Hard. Hard.
Trying to get it by their own.
Ah, great shot.
Oh, the little
Very nice.
nudge off of the red lines it up very well. So, well managed. Good position.
Okay.
I'd love to unlock this.
Yeah, same as my draw.
Try to get to just the inside of the
14,
outside
13,
red
5.
for both the yellow for Team Mouat.
Got the weight all there.
Cooper's calling all there out of hand on Lammy's second.
Clean. Clean. Clean.
Just trying to tap this a little bit, unlock that red yellow, stay on the nose. That hangs on the high side. Pushes the rock open.
Just flip in, touch ours to the button almost.
Think so.
It seems as though Team Dunstone has managed these lines a little better
Try
than
and push
Team
that
Mouat
out
in
a
the
bit.
second half of this game.
Just 12-5.
Speed's good here.
And they're going to try to roll in just a little bit and then nicking the red on the way, so that also gets pushed towards the center line.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa, guys.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Curl. Clean. Clean. Straight. Hard. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, hard roll. It's really
Rolls
good.
into the pile.
Great shot.
Matt likes it.
Seen the run.
So misses their
Holding
own.
out.
Just with a little nudge to the
that one
top
counting.
fours. And Yellowstone is open for Mouat in the back fours as well.
You never play that?
Yeah. Probably
That's
losing
kinda what
this.
I was thinking. This is
Okay.
looking all kinds of bad now for Scotland.
Yeah.
Up to you. I can play either.
Mouat.
2:40 and counting on the clock for Mouat.
Okay.
Still with a timeout remaining
Gives us
if they need it.
hopefully something. Yep.
And now question whether it is moving this line or whether it's his throw. What do you think?
For Dunstone at 2:28.
12.
Also with a timeout remaining.
Try to jiggle these reds around. Seen some curl in this spot.
Clean.
Yep. Yes. Whoa.
Clean. Yep.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Clean. Curl.
Just inside the draw path, so we expect to see this turn a little bit.
Curl.
Curl.
Want to stuff it to sit on top of the other two reds.
Okay.
Did nudge the middle red just a tiny bit, which makes a big difference because now the running that yellow in wouldn't really make the double on the reds. At least not without catching the yellow in the forefoot. The angle just quite not there for Team Mouat.
Dunstone will use their second timeout now. Probably a good time to do it and
I think that's the best shot.
figure out the best course of action.
Right.
This is a problem rock for us because he can bash this into this and then
I
move
was
everything.
thinking rip this double.
So I don't mind.
Like what does he do if we rip that double?
Well, he draws. And then we have that.
Well, we got this top and we got this freeze, right? This, like, if we do something like this, we're shaking him. Like,
Yeah. I don't mind the double. It's probably smart.
and I don't know where he goes still, where we're not going to have something.
Like even if I don't make contact,
even if we don't make
still
contact, like we
a
have
lot
so
of good
many options.
Yeah. I'm into that. It's like
Yeah,
half a rock.
It's hard to draw out here too. Like, half rock.
Looks like half a rock to me.
I think this is really smart.
That red stone that's biting top four is so important for Team Dunstone here because they're not afraid of anything Mouat can get into the forefoot. They have that option.
Right on half.
So you hear Matt talking about even if we don't make contact playing the double on this second stone, we still have options to get in there. Neufeld playing the slash double, trying to get both these yellows moving.
Yep. Yeah. Hard.
And well made. Great shot from BJ.
Yeah. Want to call time now? Just think about it. Like your shot then?
Quick decision here, Joe. Looks like they're hitting that red stone that we just mentioned in the top of the forefoot.
Yeah, roll away.
I don't mind.
Towards their corner. Might try
He's
to
always
be
got
able to
attack.
bring in their top yellow and the top 12 into play.
I like this, and then hopefully he has to make a play in us. If he draws
Create
it,
some
he's gonna hope for
space.
missed
12.
shot. Yeah, I'll try to give you 12-5.
This is tough. He doesn't. Maybe he has a sliver from the hack.
Yeah, really precise here.
And this side doesn't curl like crazy either. This is a hard shot.
Close.
Yep.
Whoa.
Hard.
Whoa.
Clean.
Yep. Whoa. Curl.
Just hack
Clean.
here.
Curl.
Clean.
Curl.
Curl.
Hard roll.
Hard, Hammy,
And
hard.
roll over to the wing.
Okay.
They don't bury any of that on the roll.
Their shot? No,
We're shot. It's either the draw to here, leaves them the in off, or we do this. That's the best. But
Yeah. Is it out turn hard then?
Nick, draw or hit. Those are the two options. What are we looking at?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the question. The hit
9-5.
and making the roll is just tougher.
We're gonna kill
With a
our
draw,
red,
you would
right?
Yeah,
almost
this might
guarantee
stick
yourself
around back
getting in
here,
a decent
but-
spot,
Okay.
but at the same time,
9-5.
if you're anything deep,
I think it's a hit and roll, eh?
you leave that in off, as BJ said.
9-5, I was thinking.
We've seen
like
the hack
10-5.
waiters here a bit.
I
Thinking
think
like
hit
here.
and roll is it's a smart call
Yeah.
here, but it's the tougher of the two to make.
I don't mind 10-5, Beach.
Okay.
And the result may be better with this too.
Speed'll be
You can
fine.
accomplish both playing the hit and roll, Joe.
Yeah, it can be fully buried here. The draw, you're trying to come around something top 8 foot.
Right. Dunstone in turn, hit and roll. You heard 9-5 the call,
Clean.
normal weight.
ahead.
Whoa.
Hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Would like to get this under cover.
Really hard.
Dunstone
It's
is
just going early.
not pleased with it. Doesn't
Whoa,
look like
whoa,
9-5.
whoa, whoa.
Bumps the stone to back lid, and I think Mouat can get to that now too.
Yeah. If he makes a hit and run, you've got this
Boy, it just
back,
didn't
yeah.
look like
Or we do this
close
first.
to the weight that they were trying to throw there either. I don't think
Time
that
out.
was normal.
It looked pretty
Time out, time
similar
out.
to the last takeout in the fifth
Thanks.
end, where it was just gone right away.
Yeah, I also agree. It guarantees you a shot for 2. You've got nose of this if you really need to. Thinking, Mike. Yep.
Yeah, he's probably trying to draw here, give me the same shot, but maybe a bit tougher. Yeah.
Yep. Let's play that then.
Okay. We really need
Let's
to
give this a
stick
shot.
around with this, because...
I don't think it's essential.
Okay. It's the thing, yeah.
He's probably got the skinny too.
Okay.
Yeah, he's also, if we roll out, he's probably got this skinny.
Grant, on my last one down here, was I tight?
Thought you just got a little full and it was a good throw though.
Final over on sheet C.
Same as you threw the last time, 12-8.
We're up 6-3 going to the final
like
end, and
4 with this
ran
one?
Team Schuster out of rocks, so they take the victory.
Probably not. Yeah,
6-4 the
that like-
final there.
12-5.
Looking for the chase here.
You want an inch more? Do you like that?
I think I like
12-5,
that.
kind of a heavy hack or just hack weight.
They've run through all the scenarios with Coach Michael Goodfellow. Mouat playing back weight. Chase on this stone, the back of the button. Trying
Curl,
to sit
clean,
2.
clean.
3.
Curl.
Shooter stays.
Carve. Whoa.
Curl.
Curl, curl. Curl, you've really got to go, Bob. You've really got to go. Hard.
Lammy
Hard.
trying to get this to turn
Hard
over
roll,
to
hard
stay.
roll, hard roll, hard roll. Yeah.
That's good. 6-3.
Oh, that's probably
Right to the button.
A minute to figure this out for Team Dunstone. No timeouts left.
Top button. How's that look?
Don't see much option but to draw, and Nick, looks as though even if this is made just about anywhere, they probably have that
40?
yellow stone to raise back to it, so they
top button.
probably want to overbury this as much as they can.
Push
Yeah,
back
they also
forward
have the
the
in-off
but-
of the yellow. I think the only, or the absolute best result they could do would be to make that roll
I think 35, 40 for you.
dead behind the top yellow. Then the race would be really tough. But it's just such a super precise shot. It's so difficult to make. Here you just got to make Bruce make his last shot. So draw into the forefoot, maybe close to the button area, and then hope for a miss.
Dunstone's last.
Hey, line's good.
Needs to get shot rock to extend
Line's
this
good.
game with Mouat sitting 3.
Hard
Line's good. Line's good.
Has to
Line's
bury
good.
behind these
You've got
stones
room.
at the
You got
top
room,
of the
guys.
house.
You got room.
Rock still
Always
coasting
Colton's.
right now. Needs to
Always
hit the
Colton's.
brakes.
You want to be like back button. Yep. Yep. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Grinding
Hard
now,
Colt.
trying to
Hard
bury.
Colt.
It's almost all of it buried, but
That's pretty thin, huh?
Yeah.
Joe, they really just have to move it a little ways to
Seen
get
that.
shot. Be pretty surprised if they didn't chase.
Yeah, I think the
or you
chase
throw the
should be
same shot.
there.
Take your pick.
I like this.
I was going to say, though, this got awkward.
Seen
They
mine
got
coming
a
there
lot of
too.
options to get to that red stone,
Yeah.
but none of
Like
them
a
were
13.
for
Move it 2
gimmies.
feet.
No, I mean, it's fully
13?
buried, but he
Okay.
only has to push it just outside of the 8 foot. So I think that's the saving grace here. And it does come up nice with the right weight. We saw Matt's back 4 really took a turn at the end there. He'll be getting the weight right here.
I think I like that for 12.5.
We've seen Bruce's final stone
Here,
over
lad.
curl a few times. This track is a little touchy.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I think you really want to give your sweepers a chance to turn it as opposed to hammer to get by.
Yeah, normally you would say he's a massive favorite to make this, and he probably still is. But in this game, we've seen quite a few last rocks miss.
Yes.
So
Mouat just needs to move this
Hard. Whoa.
into the 8 foot
Yep. Yes.
for the
Hard.
win.
Hard.
And Skinny's by, and that'll be good enough for 4 for Bruce. A great out-turn tap for the victory. They take an 8-5 W over Team Dunstone, and they run the table 4-0 in the round robin for Team Dunstone now 2-2. It'll be a waiting game to see if they have any tiebreaker opportunities to get in, but Joe, up and down, back and forth. Definitely an interesting one to be in the booth for.
Absolutely. It was a good effort by both teams. So lots of great made shots, a few surprising misses, but ultimately Team Mouat going to school and making it when it counted.
And Nick, we saw a lot of what we saw from Dunstone earlier too in the week with trying to control the game with the more defensive style. But in the end, probably, I mean, if you're asking us, maybe play a little more aggressive early in the game and don't let it get down to that point.
yeah, especially since they do that part so well, they are really good at scoring big, and in this game kind of got the lead early and just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both in the booth. A couple of consummate professionals, even though you're technically an amateur still, Nick. You know, you don't have the contract in place, but really fun doing the game with both of you. Thanks for joining up here, and we'll be back live at 4 o'clock for the next women's feature matchup, final round robin game for them. For Tyler George, Nicholas Sedin, Joanne Courtney, and the home team live crew from the Grand Slam of Curling, we will see you at 4 o'clock today.
Fit in comfortably. Locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed when they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, ET! Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.